I'm back. Are we back, ladies and gentlemen? Sorry. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus Christ. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. Let me make sure this gets back into business. All right, ladies and gentlemen. My bad. My bad, ladies and gentlemen. My bad. I mean, sometimes this app just does this thing. I apologize. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. So what we'll do is we'll boo DJ. You see me okay? Do you all see me, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. My bad, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes I don't know what happens. It does a software update, then it glitches out. But what we'll do is we'll get back and going. So let me pick up where I left off. I was showing the Trump supporters how we look to the rest of the world, all right? So what we'll do is we'll get that back on the record because, I got to upload the videos to, to YouTube, right? So what we'll do is we'll get that back on the record, ladies and gentlemen. And bear with me in just a second. We'll go ahead and show the world how the United States of America looks.
And every single time that I say that I'm in Japan right now, and every single time that I say that I'm from the United States, people look at me with disdain and disgust. And I have to explain myself every fucking time. I've been to Europe. The same fucking thing applies. It is embarrassing at this point. I have no words for it anymore. It's just disgusting and embarrassing. I have no fucking words.
Boom, boom, boom. No words, right? And so I bring that up, ladies and gentlemen, because I want people like DJ. I ran into Dame yesterday. I think Dame is struggling, ladies and gentlemen, to hold up this image, but I want him to hold it up longer because the more he does, the harder it gets. And I love seeing them just really struggle with where they're at right now. So you travel outside of the country, MAGA, and you are the laughing stock of the earth. And you all think somehow this is all going to win. This is all going to pan out in your favor. Right now, everything's starting to cost a lot more. And then to add insult to injury, no one respects you, especially if you wear your Trump supporter. I've actually heard that if you are wearing a red hat and you leave this country, you just might get beat up too. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and do what I normally do. Let's warm up the Lake of Fire. This is the first round of Lake of Fire treatment. For everybody that's still worshiping Donald Trump, keep on doing it, right? Keep on doing it, all right? Because sooner or later, you'll find out that you are a prime candidate for what? A first-class trip to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Hi, JD Cakes, W Zeus. Let's hold on. Are there any Trump supporters that have enlisted since this war broke out? Any Trump supporters that have enlisted since this war broke out? Please send us a guest request and bring up the proof that you have enlisted, so we can send you off to the battlefield the right way on this show. All right, I'll save a space for you. That is the only way, MAGA. Listen to me. I have zero respect for you, right? But I promise you, if you show us that you're heading to the combat zone on this show, I'll say this. I'll give you 100% respect today, because I'll say, you know what? You're willing to put your life on the line, and that for this country, I'll give it to you. But if you're not willing to do that, you know who I'm talking about? Wild Man 69, who hangs out on Grindr. Oh, Zeus, I can't go. He's out of shape and whatnot. I can't go, Zeus, but I would go. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. W, Zeus. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, this was brought to me by someone else. And so, you know how they keep trying to tell us that the economy is doing great? This is what MAGA will try to do. They'll say everything Donald Trump is doing is going to help them become more successful. So someone says that this is a Trump supporter. This is for educational purposes only, because people send me this stuff and I don't know if it's true or not. But yesterday we saw a MAGA demon living in a public storage, right? But many of you might have seen this, but I had to call it out because this is something a Trump supporter is going to try. Trying to finance a $90,000 Hummer EV. Get that. Remember, Trump got rid of the EV tax credit? No, not. But now the Trump supporter wants the EV credit a week after they filed for bankruptcy. You can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and listen to this MAGA demon.
You just filed bankruptcy a week ago, and you're looking to buy a new vehicle.
Yes.
A $90,000 vehicle.
Correct.
Okay.
Just calling about y'all's Hummer EV you guys have on the lot currently.
Oh, okay. What questions do you have about it?
I'm just trying to see if I can, get a little bit of a deal on it. I'm just trying to see if I can get like $1,000 off of it. Do you think you can do that for me?
We already have that thing priced to sell. 13 grand off of it right now.
So you don't think you can do another $1,000 off?
It just depends. I mean, how much money are you thinking of putting down on it?
I was planning on putting 0 down on it, just financing the whole thing. If you want to go ahead, we can get started with a credit app if you want. I just want to get approved.
Yeah, we can do a credit app. Do you know roundabout where your credit's sitting?
It's not the best. It might have to be a business purchase. We'll see.
Oh, okay. What makes you think it's not the best?
I just filed bankruptcy about a week ago. I started this business so that I can finance this truck for it.
So you just filed bankruptcy a week ago. Okay. And you're looking to buy a new vehicle.
Yes.
A $90,000 vehicle.
Correct.
Okay. With you having just filed bankruptcy, I'll just tell you straight up. I mean, we can do a credit app, but the odds of you getting approved are extremely low.
Yeah, that's why I started the business so that I can finance it through business credit.
Do you have money you can put down, even with it going through the business?
I mean, no, I can just finance the whole thing through the business, can't I?
The trouble is where you just started your business, it doesn't have any existing credit.
Trump's big, beautiful bill, I thought I could buy any new vehicle and write that off too. I figured this.
Did you catch that? Trump's big, beautiful bill? This is Trump supporter behavior, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot make up this stuff. This is ignorance on steroids.
Business, can I?
The trouble is where you just started your business, it doesn't have any existing credit.
Trump's big, beautiful bill, I thought I could buy any new vehicle and write that off too. I figured this one would work. This one's made in America, isn't it?
Yeah, they're made in America, but
What's the issue?
when it comes to financing a vehicle, if your credit is non-existent or if it isn't established, then chances of getting approved aren't very likely. I can do a credit app with you. I just wouldn't feel good about submitting you knowing what your current situation is with the business or personal credit. On both of them, I don't think you have a very good chance of getting approved, just being straight up with you.
I have all my business information here. I mean, why don't we just get it all submitted? I don't see what's the issue with that.
If you want to go ahead and get submitted, I can help you out with that. Let's see what we can do.
Boom.
You just filed bankruptcy a week ago.
Yeah, boom, 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 boom. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Any questions? Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Remember what about Biden? It's amazing, MAGA, how ignorant, poorly educated, and silly you all are getting right now. This is why I say it's like fish in a barrel with all of you. We know you're suffering. We can see it in your eyes. We can see it in the way you're talking. You are literally watching the man destroy the United States of America inside and out. The economy, immigration, foreign policy. The list just goes on and on. Unemployment number, GDP, all going in the wrong direction. You are suffering. Record withdrawals from your 401ks. You could go look this up. Record bankruptcies. You can go look this up. And somehow, this demon right here said, this is all going to somehow magically turn into the golden age, where I can go buy a $90,000 Hummer EV. That's the electric vehicle version. So you watch them get rid of the EV mandate. You watch them make you go bankrupt. And now you want to go get you a liberal Hummer. Ladies and gentlemen, there's really something wrong with these folks. There really is. And I don't know what else I can do other than what I've been doing, because outside of that, it's going to get into some territory I don't really feel comfortable going into, right? But what I really do feel comfortable doing, ladies and gentlemen, it's this. I got to go warm up the lake of fire. Why? Because, MAGA, here's the deal. You're not that bright. You're bad at business. And you voted for a convicted felon. Remember, you wore the shirts? I voted for a convicted felon. And then you actually put the red stuff on your face. I am Charlie Kirk. You're neither of those things. You're nothing but the devil. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these demons straight to hell. Thank you. I tried.
Silence.
Yeah.
You MAGA demon.
And that's a W, Zeus. The Lord works in mysterious ways. And this is why I know And I said it yesterday before I wrapped up my show, and I left the show yesterday. I said, was I too hard? Was I too hard on MAGA yesterday? But then I thought about it, and I said, somebody heard what we were saying yesterday, and they said, you know what? Maybe this is the time to change my life and get right with the good Lord. And I bring that up because, we had this one brother come onto this show when this war started off. I'm not going to mention any artist's name, but you know who they are. They know who they are. And they said, if there's too many Americans that lose their life, they're done supporting Donald Trump. How many of you have heard Trump supporters say that? How many of you have heard these Trump supporters say, if there's too many Americans that lose their life in this war, they're done supporting him? We all have heard it, right? She fit, keep it clean. And I said, they must not understand what they're saying. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they say, so to speak. But yesterday, Donald Trump's surrogate, you know who she is, right? Let's see if we can get her. She held a press conference, ladies and gentlemen, and you could just tell. I'm not even going to go through the whole thing, but you could just tell. There's only one reason that she came out here, ladies and gentlemen, and had this press conference. And it's because she knows, and Donald Trump knows, they can't hide the numbers. They will not be able to hide the numbers in the long run. So all they're now trying to do is get in front of the narrative. And the numbers are, ladies and gentlemen, tied to the number of men and women in uniform that are from the United States that have been, wounded or injured. But before we get into that, let's listen to her try to massage the Trump supporters into absorbing this blow with the way that she kicks this thing off.
Thermo Fisher Scientific in Ohio and give remarks at Versed Logistics in Fury. 10 days in, this campaign has been a resounding success thus far, and America's warriors are winning this important fight at an even faster pace than we anticipated.
Newsflash. America is not winning this war at all. We're not winning this war at all, MAGA. So that's the first way she's trying to soften the blow, because she's got some terrible news to deliver. But I'm going to be honest with you. How are you winning when the strait is still closed? How are you winning when the data centers are being targeted? And then today we found out that Iran is now going to be targeting the banks, these international banks. You're not winning. And there has been no regime change at all. You got a worse regime than you had when you started out. So this is Caroline Leavitt trying to soften the blow.
More than 5,000 enemy targets have been struck so far. Iran's ballistic missile attacks are down more than 90%, and their drone attacks are down by approximately 85%.
Well, why on earth are boom booms still landing in the GCC countries then, Caroline? If this is, I'm gonna let it go.
Since the start of Operation Epic Fury. The United States is also annihilating the Iranian regime's navy, and we have destroyed more than 50 Iranian naval vessels, including a major drone carrier ship. None of the regime's vessels are operating in major regional waterways, and the Iranian Navy has been assessed as combat ineffective.
Well, why haven't there been any Marine or Navy escorts through the Strait, Caroline? If you are so successful, why are there still over 700 tankers sitting on both sides of the Strait, Caroline? Because you're lying. MAGA believes this, Caroline, but the rest of the world, they don't. People right now in Dubai right now, they say if you're within 1 meter or 1 kilometer, they say, of a bank, don't do it because Iran is ramping up today, ladies and gentlemen. You could go look at this on the news, and we haven't even talked about the school that the United States blew up that had the girls in it, Caroline. How is this winning?
The trend is clear. U.S. combat capabilities are increasing and growing more lethal and dominant by the day, while the Iranian terrorist regime's ability to respond has rapidly declined. Now, the U.S. military is moving to dismantle Iran's missile production infrastructure. Our incredible B-2 bombers recently dropped dozens of 2,000-pound penetrator bombs on deeply buried missile sites. Last night...
But if anyone understands how Iran is set up, they're deep in the mountains, Caroline. All you're doing is wasting billions and billions of dollars of taxpayer money. Caroline, just get to the point. What are the objectives of this entire war? And I call it a war because it is a war. And I don't want MAGA to ever get it confused, because if you listen, they try to when they call it a conflict, right, or an excursion, what they're trying to do is desensitize you and make it seem like it's not as bad as it is. It's really bad, ladies and gentlemen, and MAGA will not tell you this.
Trump reiterated his commitment toward keeping oil flowing through the Strait of Hormuz so the United States and all of our allies can receive their energy needs. President Trump will not allow rogue Iranian terrorists to stop the freedom of navigation and the free flow of energy. Let me be clear. It is a good thing to wipe out terrorists who indiscriminately target civilians and attempt to hold the global economy hostage. And President Trump should be commended for doing so.
Well, no, we won't commend him, Caroline, because we're all seeing what's happening at the gas station. Has anyone noticed the gas prices have gone up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to be honest. Have the gas prices gone up in the chat, ladies and gentlemen? Christina, I saw you say that this is not a war, ma'am. Ma'am, go look in the dictionary. Look up the definition of war, Christina, all right? W's in the chat for all of you. And I saw Brother Dame come up in here. He's getting in some insight. Dame, listen up, because I can't have you. Dame, I have to show you this stuff because you're allowing the right to have you out here looking like you don't know what's happening, bro. So you got to pay attention to this, all right? And you got to get rid of that Zeus derangement syndrome that you got. I'm over here educating. The least you could do is, show your boy some respect. W Zeus, ladies and gentlemen. But listen to me cook Caroline Levitt. She's cooking herself. Never trust a woman wearing a pink shirt and a cross at the same time. Those don't go together, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. When the last time you seen someone wearing a pink outfit and a cross together? That doesn't make sense. And I could say a lot more, but it doesn't make sense.
As the president made unequivocally clear to the remaining elements of this terrorist regime in his statement yesterday, if they do anything to stop the flow of oil or goods within the Strait of Hormuz, they will be hit by the world's most powerful military 20 times harder.
She said if they do anything. Yesterday, you should have seen the news headlines. What was Iran doing yesterday? They were doing anything. They were laying mines all in the strait. What was Trump saying? Oh yeah, drop another mine. What was Trump saying? 20 times? Yeah, we're going to drop another mine. They actually said what he's talking about sounds like PlayStation talk. I said, wow, no respect for Donald Trump, because they know Donald Trump has no clue what the heck he's gotten himself into. All right, this is funny.
Have been hit thus far. Moving forward, the stated objectives for Operation Epic Fury remain the same. Destroy the terrorist regime's ballistic missiles, raise their Iranian missile industry to the ground, ensure their terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region, and ensure that Iran never obtains a nuclear weapon. President Trump remains confident these goals will be accomplished in swift fashion. As for the oil, President Trump fully expected the rogue Iranian regime to try and disrupt the global markets. That's why President Trump and his energy team have been planning for this long before the strike and have moved quickly to address these temporary disruptions. Thus far, the Trump administration has offered political risk insurance to tankers operating in the Gulf. The Treasury temporarily waived certain oil-related sanctions.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this. Even what Donald Trump is doing, there's not one insurance company that is insuring these tankers, because everybody in their right mind knows, even if you give me a policy, why would I sail through the strait knowing that there's thousands of mines potentially down there that could just literally wipe me off the face of the earth? There's no amount of money that you can insure the vessel for. And the companies are saying, we're not going to do it. And then the second thing, which is arguably, in my opinion, the most evilest thing, is they're waiving the sanctions on Russia. So not only is Russia getting money from this, all right, but they're also giving Iran intelligence to attack our men and women in uniform. How is this winning, MAGA? How is this winning?
The commander-in-chief has offered the U.S. Navy to escort tankers when necessary. The president and his energy team are closely watching the markets, speaking with industry leaders, and the U.S. military is drawing up additional options following the president's directive to continue keeping the Strait of Hormuz open.
Boom.
I will not broadcast what those options look like, but just know the president is not afraid to use them.
Yeah, he is. Because, Caroline, there aren't any, and the president is very afraid. He knows that he's gotten himself into a very, very nasty situation. So I won't belabor the issue. But you see what she's trying to do. She's trying to soften the blow, ladies and gentlemen, all the way up until we get to the real moment of truth where we find out what the real cost of war is.
And if I could just follow up really quickly.
Sure.
In terms of oil sanctions, the president said that there would be some sanctions that would be lifted. Would those be on Venezuela, Russia? Could you give some specifics there and then timing for that as well?
Sure. I know it's something that the Treasury Department and the president's energy team continue to discuss, and they will ultimately consult with the president before decisions are made. I don't have any announcements on new sanctions or the lifting of new sanctions for you today.
Here goes.
Alex.
Thank you. Reuters has reported that about 150 U.S. service members have been injured so far. Can you confirm that number and elaborate on that?
I can't confirm the exact number. I know it's within that ballpark, but I would defer you to the Pentagon for a specific number of wounded or injured thus far.
Did you hear that, MAGA? Did you hear that? We got 8 that have been confirmed, at least, maybe even more, because, Russia doesn't tell the numbers. Neither does the United States tell the real numbers. And then you got 150 out there. Some of them might not make it. And Donald Trump, out of all of the talking he has done, think about the psychology. He's been on camera so many times, and not one time has he spoken on this. We got to find it out from the woman in a pink dress with a cross on, who's few months pregnant on her way out. How disrespectful. That's why I ask, how many of you Trump supporters are willing to lace up your boots and get over there and fight your daddy's war? Because this isn't a joke. We can argue about all kinds of policies, but once our men and women in uniform start losing their life, it gets serious. A lot of people who enlist, they come from very, very diverse backgrounds, but it takes a real forward-minded person to make that decision that says, I'm willing to lay down my life for my country, and then they enlist. And you would hope that you had a president in the White House that wouldn't just, allow you to be sent into these battlefields, these combat zones off of a whim. But that's exactly what we got, ladies and gentlemen. Many of us got brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews maybe, that have been impacted by this. Children, our own children have been impacted by this incompetent administration that doesn't love the United States. They only love their wallets. So what I'll do is this, ladies and gentlemen, let me warm up the lake of fire, because Caroline, I don't believe the lies. I've known for a long time, never trust a woman wearing a pink outfit and a cross. Never do that, because those things don't go together. What are we doing? We going to a nightclub to do what? Pray? Absolutely not. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending Caroline Levitt where she truly, truly belongs, straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
It's a W, Zeus. All right. Let's go on to my next topic. I'm going to try to get through as many of my topics this morning as I can, ladies and gentlemen. So what we have now, ladies and gentlemen, is there are economic concerns. W. Rick. Thank you, Rick. Economic concerns about this conflict with Iran, which includes rising inflation and a weak labor market. So let's get this on the record, ladies and gentlemen. Again, MAGA, every time I show you these things, I do it now because, you all used to say, Zeus, where are you getting this from? You can go look at it. It comes from multiple sources, but you can look at this yourself.
Between rising inflation and the war in Iran, Americans are worried about the economy. With food prices already trending upwards, the labor market weakening, families are also dealing with how much it costs just to drive to work day in and day out. News Nation national correspondent Alicia Nieves is live on Wall Street for us this morning. Alicia, so far Operation Epic Fury has been spooking the economy. Is that going to change anytime soon?
Yeah, well, market's certainly hoping that's going to be the case, and you got to imagine the average American hoping the same here. Today markets are going to be looking for some certainty, trying to get the answer to that question. As you pointed out a moment ago, most Americans right now are being hammered by this war and the impact of it on us, on our wallets, right? It's part of the reason why we've seen these major market swings over the better part of the last 2 weeks here.
Is that good news right there, ladies and gentlemen? You see all this red? I know a lot of you can't read, right? But is this great news? Oh, Democrats stay. Oh, hold on. What did you say? He said someone wrote something in the chat. As soon as they see when you show them what their daddy is doing, this is when you end up pick pew pewer. Democrats stayed lying. Gas has only been up for about a week. The war is almost what? Hold on. The war is what? I can't even read this lie. Almost over. Pete, come on up here with that lie. Come on up here. Come on up here real quick. Oh, come on up here real quick. Promise you won't do it. Do you have evidence to support that lie? Hold on.
Man, I'm a soldier, dog. I'm a veteran, man. I stay connected to what's going on on the ground, man. I'm gonna say something.
Do you have evidence?
Don't get come on.
Do you have evidence?
Do you have evidence that it's not?
He has no evidence. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send him where he belongs, straight to hell. I don't want to hear. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a therapist, champ. You know the rules.
Silence.
You know the rules. Listen to the facts.
On where oil prices are now, where they're heading. You're looking right now at the futures, looking to open to the flat line, but technically lower. And we've seen, that for the better part of the last 2 weeks. Gas has jumped, as you pointed out, quite significantly.
Look at that.
You're talking about
Look at
60
that.
cents.
You can't get up here. How you gonna get in my box and try to tell me I don't see what's happening out here? I don't see what's leaving my wallet. You can't do that. All right. And it would have got personal. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to let you get back out there. But please do not come onto my show with lies and misinformation and disinformation. As a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means? It's time to move it back to, let's go ahead, ladies and gentlemen. What that means is this, and it's quite simple. We have no other choice but to, hold on. Multi-guest live. Why is it saying that there's a multi-guest live? And do I have someone in the box? No, I don't have. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I know what it is. Okay, I think I know what it is. Multi-guest. All right. Let's go ahead and let's see, ladies and gentlemen. Why is it not letting me go back? Can't disconnect when there are no guests. Okay, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. See what I did, ladies and gentlemen? What on earth just happened, bro? You broke my live, bro. You broke my live. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Can't change scene during multi-guest live. Well, I don't have multi-guest live. There you go. Does anyone not in this? There can't be. Hold on. Settings. All right. Don't allow. No. Change layout. Does anyone know how to fix this? There you go. I'll do it like that. There you go. It will not let me switch back. For some strange reason, you have to share the responsibility. Okay. What does it say? Who knows how to get up here and do that? Send me a guest request. Who knows how to get up here and use this? I don't want to restart. I'm in the middle of cooking and booking, ladies and gentlemen. For some strange reason, take all the boxes down. Fix layout. There you go. Save. Maybe that'll work. Set now. Hold on. Allow moderators to manage the guests. Do the mods know how to fix this, ladies and gentlemen? Do I have any mods that can fix this? What a disgrace, ladies and gentlemen. What a huge disgrace. You have a share responsibility notice? Isn't that... Oh, maybe that's what it is. I guess I need to be able to take multi-guests off, but I don't know. Oh, there you go. Hold on, history. Hold on. See? Even players messed up. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Disconnect all. You know what I'm going to do? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Jeez. Okay, there we go. Wow. I don't know what it was, but we're back. Jesus Christ. I got to kick the demons out of the live, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh. It says it'll help you. You're learning. All right. Can't have the demons. But who was that last knucklehead in my box, ladies and gentlemen? And by the way, W to the chat for bearing with me. I think we're good now, right? For some strange reason. Yeah. I was here. This is where I was at, MAGA. You can't lie to Big Zeus about these gas prices. You just can't. And so with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send that previous guest who got in my box and try to lie to me about how this is good news. It's not good news. Join me in sending them straight to hell. You almost broke my show. W. Thank you.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that's a huge W, Zeus. Okay. All right, as a matter of fact, let's go a little deeper from another news source about those gas prices. Let's go a little deeper into this conversation, ladies and gentlemen, about the gas prices. This one comes from who is this? Good Morning America.
Prices are up again this morning. We are seeing wild swings in the oil market as investors try to make sense of conflicting signals from the Trump administration on when this war might end, and it is already having a direct impact on the American economy.
Uh-oh.
This morning, 12 days into the war with Iran, American businesses and consumers are feeling the strain of higher prices at the pump.
With the inflation going on with groceries and gas, and it's just ridiculous.
It's an added cost.
Yeah. It's an added cost, yeah.
The national average hitting $3.59 a gallon, up 65 cents since the war began.
How many cents? How many cents, MAGA? We got to take time. Because a lot of this stuff, it's like when they're sitting in class and the teacher's giving the lecture, they go into a different dimension, right? Because they don't like numbers, they don't like facts, right? So W's in the chat for 65 cents. If you do not leave this show with any number in your mind, just think an additional 65 cents, MAGA. That's the number, right? And that's in the wrong direction, all right?
Diesel prices now up a full $1.
How much are diesel prices up, ladies and gentlemen? How much are diesel prices up? A full $1. You hear this? You hear this, you Trump supporters. I know what you do when you go into math class. You should have seen it. When I was in the math classes, ladies and gentlemen, because I used to take math, and I did a lot of math. All right, actually, I got my degree in it, right? When the teacher's up there giving lectures and they're starting to talk numbers, some people, they couldn't handle it, and they literally would teleport to another dimension. And then, the teacher would ask a question. So now, I just told you what the derivative of e to the x is. What happened? And they spaced out because a lot of them can't handle it. All right, this is arithmetic, MAGA. Listen up and pay attention. Diesel is up over $1 compared to where it was when this war started. So this is why you have folks like me. And this is why a lot of people that you consider to be the radical left are very upset. It has nothing to do with universities indoctrinating people. It has everything to do with you not understanding what's impacting your wallet.
78 a gallon, sending transportation costs soaring across the economy from farming to food transport to manufacturing. Shlomo Dostikam manages a moving company with trucks running on diesel.
Mm-hmm. If you're talking about 5 trucks, that's $500 per day increase.
You hear this? Go ahead, MAGA. Let me repeat this back to you, what this business owner just said in terms of what the increase was. Okay, yeah, there you go.
$500 per day increase.
Here goes. If you're Jesus, forget about it.
You're paying $500 more per day on diesel right now than last week.
$500
That's
a
big
day.
Cost.
It is.
The White House insists the pain will be short-lived.
Imagine adding an additional $500 per day to your operating costs, MAGA. Think about this. Is that good for your business or is that bad for your business, MAGA? This is why we're sitting here telling you that your dear leader, actually, I'm done telling you right now. I got to go straight to judgment. Anyone with a brain that actually works could understand. You talking about, $500 a day. $500 a day, MAGA. And you think that this is an acceptable thing to do? $3,500 a week? Wow. It just goes to show you're un-American and you hate the country. And you obviously, like Donald Trump said,
you're either stupid or you hate the country.
Ladies and gentlemen, because they're heading towards bankruptcy. And what did I say? What did I used to say what the ultimate MAGA reward was? Jail? Yeah. Jail. Because when you go broke, you lose hope and then you start committing crime because they link poverty to crime, right? So jail, and if you don't get your soul right, hell. ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these Trump supporters who are on a fast track to going broke, filing Chapter 11, you never know, and then trying to get the $90,000 EV like they did. Join me in sending these demons straight to hell. I just thought of that.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Yeah, that's a huge W, Zeus. You know what I thought I needed to do? I'm so sorry. I needed to see if I could find this clip because one of their own, they don't like it when I play. They don't like it when I play Nick Fuentes. But if he gets into some nasty stuff, I'll shut him off. But every now and then, a broken clock could be right twice. I just want to let MAGA know what Nick Fuentes had to say about this whole conflict. All right, because me and him never agree on anything. But you know what? Sometimes you need to hear it from a different perspective so that you can then figure out what to make of it. Right?
Shooter, Muslim.
Here you go.
Southwest flight threat, Muslim. NYC terrorist.
Listen
Muslim.
to this.
Multiculturalism does not work during international conflict. Migrants are often more loyal to their religion and home country than to America. Go and unite while not being complicit. They're our enemy's enemy. God bless.
That's crazy. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I mean. Migrants are more loyal. Migrants. We're at war with Iran, dumbass. And Jews let me say this. If a single person is killed in a terrorist attack, that is the fault of Donald Trump and Israel. Period. Full stop. I don't even blame the terrorist as much.
Wow.
You know who's responsible for blood being shed?
For educational purposes only. All right. Bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. But I want MAGA to hear him. And they won't deny. MAGA will say, oh, Nick Fuentes, he's not mine. He's a racist and all these other things. And it's like, yeah, that's why he is yours. Everything he is, you are supporting it. All right. He's just out in the open with it. All right. But we all know you are like this, right? We know they're just like this wild man. DJ, we all know this is deep down inside of you when the doors are shut and no one's looking. We know this is exactly how you talk amongst yourselves.
If there's terrorism, number 1, Donald Trump. Number 2, Israel. Number 3, the terrorist. And you want to know why? It's Donald Trump's job to put America first. Mm-hmm. And he knew bringing us to war would mean this. Mm-hmm. He knew that.
Yep.
And he keeps telling us. He says, it's a war. People die in a war. It's going to happen. So he signed those people's death warrants.
Yep.
The second that we started dropping bombs, he sealed the fate of Americans that will die in terror attacks. And he was okay with that. Never forget that.
Boom. You hear this, MAGA? Accountability starts at the top. Stop bringing up Joe Biden. Stop bringing up Barack Obama. Donald Trump, whatever risks were associated with this war, he should have known them, or he did know about them before he decided to commit the United States of America to it. So, yeah, we're blaming him at the very top.
And he keeps telling us, he says, it's a war. People die in a war. It's going to happen. So he signed those people's death warrants. The second that we started dropping bombs, he sealed the fate of Americans that will die in terror attacks. And he was okay with that. Never forget that. You're talking about Muslim migrants. Okay, they're fucking towelheads. What is the American president's obligation to his own people? The American president who ran on America first, Americans first, signed the death warrant of every person who is or will be killed overseas or in a terrorist attack because he knew this was inevitable. He knew there'd be collateral damage. He knew there'd be civilian casualties. And he did it anyway for Israel. And Israel knew it too. And they dragged us into the conflict. For them, it's an acceptable sacrifice. They're probably happy about it. And then you get the Muslims that are just unwitting pawns. They are just the instrument, as always. The blacks, Muslims, the Indians, they're the instrument in this equation. They probably have the least agency out of all of them. So no, focus up. You talk about immigration doesn't work in an international conflict. Hey, who created the international conflict? Which country? Whose money? Which billionaires? Yeah, mass migration doesn't work. You know what doesn't work? Jewish people being billionaires and making us fight their fucking wars.
Dragonborn Zero.
Uh-oh, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, basically, Nick Fuentes, he's pointing out something. And many of you saw me in a live yesterday. And I called this out, and they said, Zeus, you're making it up. You're making it up, Zeus. And I want to explain to them why I'm not making it up. When I said Donald Trump is in trouble And he's blaming who? Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. Zeus, how did you know that? Where did you get that from? And I'm going to play it for him, MAGA, all right? Because Nick Fuentes is right about that one part. This is 100% on Donald Trump. This is when Donald Trump basically tries to throw them under the bus. This is when Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, tries to throw Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner under the bus.
The point of no return, and the United States found it intolerable, in my opinion, based on what Steve and Jared and Pete and others were telling me, Marco, so involved, that I thought that they were going to attack us. I thought they would, if we didn't do this at the time we did it, I think they had in mind to attack us. And
you hear that, MAGA? He just told you. He said based off of what? Marco Rubio.
The situation was very quickly approaching.
Listen to it.
The point of no return, and the United States found it intolerable, in my opinion, based on what Steve and Jared and Pete and others were telling me, Marco, so involved, that I thought that they were going to attack us. I thought they would, if we didn't do this at the time we did it, I think they had in mind to attack us. And
see what he's doing? Based off of what the worst negotiators ever told him. This is his way of saying, if it all comes crashing down, MAGA, it wasn't me. I was given a bad batch. This is why I say, you really think this war is going well? If this war would have been going well, he'd have been doing victory laps. That's what that press conference was about a couple of days ago. It was for him to get out there and try to protect himself and insulate himself and say, hey, just in case, it's not on me. It's on the people. It's on the people who advised me. So I'll let our good friend, I know because I'm skipping around because I'm technical difficulties, but if you don't believe me, maybe someone you know and recognize that's a certified Trump hater can explain it to you, MAGA. Why Donald Trump is trying to pawn this off on Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and Marco Rubio.
They're talking about. They started a war of choice, Donald Trump's choice, and now they, in every important sense, do not know what they are talking about. Donald Trump and everyone working for him in Washington on his war continue to demonstrate every day that they are completely lost. And if they don't know what they are talking about, that means they don't know what they are doing.
Facts.
They don't know what they are doing in Donald Trump's war. The competition for stupidest things said today about Donald Trump's war was won by the guy who is tied with Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, for the title of most ridiculous person ever chosen by a president to negotiate peace in the Middle East. 68-year-old Steve Witkoff is a real estate developer in real life who would not have been chosen by any president of the United States to do anything, anywhere, until Donald Trump decided to send him into negotiations, not just in the Middle East, but also in Moscow with Vladimir Putin.
Y'all remember Steve Witkoff negotiating with Vladimir Putin? Remember this? How did that turn out? Oh, we invited Vladimir Putin to the United States of America, and did we ever get a ceasefire? Did we ever get a ceasefire with this heck of a negotiator, Steve Witkoff, ladies and gentlemen? Did we ever get that ceasefire with Ukraine and Russia? W to the chat. So he was so good at that they sent him to go negotiate with Iran. And you see where we're at right now.
Steve Witkoff obviously knew nothing about the Middle East or Vladimir Putin when Donald Trump chose him. And now that he's met Vladimir Putin, he still knows nothing about Vladimir Putin, as he demonstrated so embarrassingly today when Carl Quintanilla at CNBC asked him why Donald Trump decided to allow Vladimir Putin to take full advantage of the explosive increase in the price of oil and profit off of that new price, a new price created by Donald Trump's war.
So you see what's happening. Donald Trump is helping Putin make more money off of the oil so that Putin can use that money to fund the war he's got with going against Ukraine, and at the same time give support to Iran to attack the men and women in uniform that are in the GCC countries. Genius, Donald. Genius.
Slow down with vanilla milk chocolate almond.
Bear with me. I thought I got rid of this.
Do we think that the Russians have shared intelligence about the location of U.S. military assets? And if they have, why would we be giving waivers on Russian oil sanctions?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not an intel officer, so I can't tell you. I can tell you that yesterday on the call with the president, the Russians said that they have not been sharing. That's what they said. So, you know, we can take them at their word, but they did say that.
Wow.
We can take them at their word. He said that.
Wow.
Donald Trump's clown of the day, Steve Witkoff, says we can take Vladimir Putin's word for it that Russia has not been helping Iran target attacks on American military personnel. Wow. That is the single worst thing Vladimir Putin could possibly be doing to the United States in this war. And Vladimir Putin knows it. Mm-hmm. And Vladimir Putin also knows that Donald Trump has always behaved like Vladimir Putin's trained puppy around the Russian dictator. Vladimir Putin knows that he has lied to Donald Trump to his face, and Donald Trump has then gone out to a microphone to tell the world, I believe Vladimir Putin.
Wow.
After credible reporting by MS Now, the New York Times, and the Washington Post that Vladimir Putin was helping Iran target the American military.
Do you hear this, MAGA? DJ. Dame. Wild man. Who was that knucklehead that got in my box and almost ruined my show? Do you hear this? And you, Christina, and you all want to tell us this isn't a war? While we're paying more at the pump? The president is skipping out on dignified transfers, going to fundraising events? What planet are you on? This is serious stuff.
To the deaths of 7 American soldiers and injuring 140 American soldiers, all Vladimir Putin had to do was tell Donald Trump on the phone yesterday that he didn't do it. Donald Trump might not actually be so stupid as to actually believe Vladimir Putin, but it doesn't matter because Donald Trump is deeply perverse enough to publicly claim to believe Vladimir Putin. And so is Steve Witkoff.
Wow.
Donald Trump's breathtakingly incompetent real estate developer buddy, Steve Witkoff, does appear to actually be stupid enough to believe Vladimir Putin and to say on television that he believes Vladimir Putin. They have no idea what they're talking about. None of them do, least of all Donald Trump, who began his war calling for the, quote, unconditional surrender, end quote, of Iran.
Uh-oh.
And a day later said, we've already won.
You see this? You see this? We've already won. This is what Donald Trump is saying. How? How, MAGA? How has he already won?
Point. Yesterday, Donald Trump tried to tell the world the absurd lie that the Tomahawk missile, the American Tomahawk missile that hit a girls' school, killing 175 people, most of whom were the students at the school, was fired at the school by Iran, to which our first guest tonight, the former Navy combat pilot and former astronaut Senator Mark Kelly, said Trump has no idea what he's talking about.
Nope.
No, the Iranians don't have Tomahawk missiles. Dozens of children are dead. And the investigation into how this happened needs to be fast and transparent. That's how we keep this from happening again. We don't need these deflections from the president or Hegseth running his mouth about, quote, stupid rules of engagement.
And this is why I say we need trials. Because when this is all said and done and we get to the place of accountability, these are, to me, how are we just going to blow up a boom boom of school and you lied about it and tried to cover it up? War crimes. War crimes. And somebody, like I said, has to go to jail. And the next pit stop, final destination, hell.
That was Pete Hegseth's phrase about this war. He said there are no stupid rules of engagement, meaning no rules of engagement, meaning we can fire Tomahawk missiles at girls' schools if we want to.
Oh, and this is the pro-life party, the one that at the beginning of this said, we need to go there and save the women and children. Remember? We need to go to Iran to save the women and children from this evil regime. Well, you got a worse regime, and now the United States is complicit in terms of causing casualties to the women and children. Make that make sense, you Trump supporters. And by the way, if you're a Trump supporter, send me a guest request so we can get you to come up here and prove to us that you've enlisted.
Republican has shown that he knows how to talk about the innocent casualties of war. Republican Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana said this about the Tomahawk missile attack on the girls' school, quote, "It was terrible. We made a mistake. Other countries do that sort of thing intentionally, like Russia. We would never do that intentionally. I think the department is investigating it now, and I'm sorry. I'm just so sorry it happened.
Wow.
It was a mistake." Donald Trump's press.
Vegas girl, you wrote, I don't believe anyone is okay with schools being boom boomed. I must tell you this, Vegas girl. Unfortunately, you are lying to yourself because none of us believe what you just said in this room. None of us. We know for sure you're okay with it. All right? And actions speak louder than words. All right, Vegas girl? And I know you want to be on the right side of history, but you can't dance with the devil and then try to come into heaven. It doesn't work like that. So you need to start taking accountability for your own conduct. And that's why I say the best way to start taking accountability is to get down on your knees and truly, truly ask God to forgive you and repent for all of your sins. W. Zeus, I can't help you. But the moment you decided that you're going to support this incompetent, this evil and corrupt administration because of your feelings, you lost it. Because this isn't about how you feel. It's about what's right and wrong. You could feel anything. One day you wake up happier than all get out, and then something happens and you're not so happy. That's feelings, all right? They're not stable. But the facts, what we're talking about right now, men and women losing their life, and you supported this demon, you put him in the White House, absolutely your fault.
Terry continued her mindless and relentless campaign to insult America's intelligence today. She actually said, quote, "The president is not making anything up, Nancy." Donald Trump makes things up every day about drapes and ballrooms and Tomahawk missiles and the price of gas and the price of everything.
Yeah.
And girls killed at a girls' school in Iran. And the lie that Americans don't pay his tariffs. Making stuff up is what Donald Trump does.
Facts.
That's why Nancy Cortez of CBS asked Donald Trump's press secretary today, quote, "So is he making this up to justify his decision to go to war now?" Mm-hmm. To which Donald Trump's press secretary said, "The president is not making anything up, Nancy." If Donald Trump is speaking, he is making something up.
Facts.
And making it up is the charitable way to describe Donald Trump's pathological lying. Donald Trump's press secretary has the same job that Steve Early had. But Steve Early never lied. She lies every day.
She does. Everyone knows Caroline lies every day. And we all know that MAGA lacks the ability to actually hold themselves accountable. These folks literally look in the mirror and they hate themselves. They worship Donald Trump. They allow Donald Trump to get away with everything. And so look at where we have MAGA, ladies and gentlemen. We have MAGA justifying high gas prices. We have MAGA justifying higher unemployment. We have MAGA justifying more forever wars. Look at these are the things that they claimed that they had an issue. We have MAGA justifying Donald Trump being Epstein's best friend. And now we got them justifying the United States blowing up a school full of girls. And this is the party, ladies and gentlemen, that want us to actually go along with them. I'm not going along with you devils. I'm not going along with you demons. Why would I decide to go to hell with you? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up my monologue, which has been a bumpy ride this morning, but we're going to wrap up the monologue with another round of Lake of Fire treatment. I've been telling you Trump supporters since this all got started, same thing make you laugh. It'll make you cry. You might be flying high right now. You're on top of the world, cloud 9, but what goes up must come down. And what you're seeing that actually playing out. It's like Newton's laws of gravity in a way, right? So it's with great pleasure that I do this. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in warming up the Lake of Fire, because whether it's them trying to get a $90,000 Hummer after filing bankruptcy, whether it's them living out of a storage shed, these folks will continue to believe that Donald Trump is truly bringing about the golden age, only to one day wake up and realize they ain't nowhere near the golden age, but they are definitely in hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
And that's a huge W, Zeus. Yeah. But there is one more thing that I need to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, and then I'm going to open up the boxes, all right? This has been brought to Big Zeus's attention. WVIP. You see this? This is Marco Rubio's shoes, ladies and gentlemen. Marco Rubio's shoes. This is Marco Rubio's shoes, ladies and gentlemen. And what makes this more concerning, I posted the video of this. Last year, JD Vance told this joke at an event at the Kennedy Center. I think it was around December 5th, right? Let me see if we can get this joke queued up.
Actually a week or so ago, I walk into the Oval Office and Marco and I are sitting there talking with the president about something. He says, "Stop." And he looks at our shoes and says, "You guys have terrible shoes." So he goes and gets a shoe catalog. And remember, this is the Christmas season, so the president's got some holiday cheer. He goes and gets a shoe catalog and gets his favorite shoes and orders like 4 pairs of shoes for me and 4 pairs of shoes for Marco, because he's like, we need our vice president, our secretary of state to look their very best. And, then we went back to talking about whatever major, international issue we were talking about.
Y'all hear that? Y'all see this stuff, ladies and gentlemen? You literally, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. Think about this. How pathetic of a person do you have to be? Honestly, let me get those shoes again. These are Oxfords. These are Donald Trump's favorite shoes, they say. How pathetic do you got to be as a human being to allow Donald Trump to dress you like this? And you can't even speak up and say, "Nah, I'm cool. Nah, you keep those. I don't let no other grown man son me and tell me what shoes to wear, especially if the shoes look just like him." Oh, no, I got a lot more respect for myself, ladies and gentlemen. What kind of sick person allows stuff like this to happen? I could literally, and I mean, it gets worse. Let me see. I think there's more photos, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see if I can get this going. Hold on, bear with me, because somebody has to go to hell. Somebody has to go to hell for this. He literally. Let me see if we can get this up here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure we get this, and we got to do this. We got to do this some justice, ladies and gentlemen, because this is probably, honestly, on top of the 65 cents and the 35-cent thing that I asked you all to keep tabs of this morning. This is definitely, arguably, in my opinion, worthy of Lake of Fire treatment. Hold on, bear with me. Let's get because there's other photos, there's other angles of this demon right here. There's other angles of the devil. This demonic work that's going on. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I want to get that one. Let's see if I got the other one. All right. Let's see. Hold on. Let me get the other one right here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Sometimes I see these things, ladies and gentlemen, and I go, okay, yeah. Look at this right here, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. There you go. So, I'm improvising. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm improvising. Here you go. You see that? You see that right there? You see this? He literally wore this out in public. At first, when I saw the ankles, I said, "Oh, maybe he's in the bathroom," just, or maybe they're just talking. But no, he actually sent Marco out here in the shoes. No wonder JD Vance decided to tell a joke about it. It's definitely one of those things you got to see. You got to see it to believe it. Clown, you Trump supporters. This is just more proof that you're nothing but, honestly, the biggest clowns. You're nothing but the biggest clowns on the face of the earth. And if you don't respect yourself, don't expect me to do it. One more angle of this. One more angle. I think they said. I think we got one more angle of this, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Look at him. Just making them all wear those clown shoes, ladies and gentlemen. Look at it. He makes his clowns dress up just like him, right? Put them ridiculous, silly shoes on and make daddy feel good about what's going on in the world right now. Yeah, I don't care about anything else. I just want y'all to wear my shoes to make me feel good. All right, ladies and gentlemen. You know what time it is. This is another reason why we got to send some folks straight to hell on this show. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why I say, don't get up here and try to crash out on me. I'm the worst person to try that on. Because honestly, you played yourselves, MAGA. You really have. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in warming up the lake of fire. Do you believe in magic? Remember that song? And I hope you do. You always got a friend wearing Oxford shoes. Wow. You Trump supporters. I gotta give it to you. Y'all take it too far with a joke. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these demons where they belong, straight to hell. It's with great pleasure.
Silence, you MAGA daily.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, all right. Now that concludes my monologue. I hope you all learned something very valuable today. And now we're going to move on to the next part of the show where I bring up some of the most amazing guests that I've ever gotten to talk to, minus MAGA, all right? Because MAGA, I don't even think MAGA wants to come onto my show anymore, which is totally fine. As you can see, I've started to just rearrange the content around so that I don't really need to talk to him because we get so much of it through my monologue, all right? And so we're going to open up these boxes, and you know the rules. If you accidentally send up a guest request, right? What's the rule? What's the rule? Because I love every single one of you, honestly, that are very, supportive of the platform. You come in, you tap the screen, you share the live. But what's the rule? JD Cakes wrote 4 galaxies. Well, you know what? I'm going to give you an offer today. It's 4. We're going to let it go for 2, all right? If I bring you up here and you hit me with the excuses, right? And I've heard a lot of excuses. It's 2 galaxies. And if you can't do it right away, we got a layaway program. W Zeus. All right. So now we are going to the guest request, ladies and gentlemen. Who do we have? Uncle Trey says 8 galaxies. Good morning. All right. Good morning, Bounce. How are you?
Oh, good morning. How are you?
I am doing all right now that you are here. What brings you to the kingdom?
I just wanted to shine a little light on Dame. He disrespected Straight Facts on a panel and called her a bunch of names. And so
I'm taking your word. I'm taking your word, Bounce, because you know they say you gotta trust but verify kind of thing, but
that's not a lie, Christina. So stop it.
Yeah.
He can't take black women being educated. He doesn't like black women. So let's just call those facts. So what I would say to Dame and to DJ is to hold hands, tiptoe through the tulips on Epstein Island, and be happy. And don't forget to take your overweight baby, Tiny Tank Top Tim, that you all produced.
Now, wow, W Bounce, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not a point of being nice to these MAGAs no more. They don't deserve it.
You think they don't?
I'm taking numbers and I'm taking names because when all this is over, don't want none of you black MAGAs running over here talking about I see the light. See, Dame, when Donald was talking about turning the lights off and all he can see is the whites of black people's teeth, he was talking about you.
I remember that. Oh, don't bounce.
Yes.
You just. I got PTSD about when Donald Trump did that. Please don't remind me of anything Donald Trump has done that was racist right now because I get angry. I get really angry, especially when. Never mind. Bounce. Bounce. But she's right. That Donald Trump did that.
Dame can take his receding hairline and go somewhere because I am sick of him. I'm sick of him pandering and turning black people's minds, messing with their minds so they can be on his side so he can grift every day so he can stay on vacation. But for a black man that's on vacation, stay on vacation. Why do you have to be up in these TikTok streets spreading all your lies? You don't help children. And for all the black people, and I'm going to say this for my sister, when people are asking you to donate to certain causes, stop doing it because they are keeping the money.
Who?
Lots of them. I ain't gonna say who. They know who they are.
Well, be careful out here in these TikTok streets. Now you know you didn't. Oh my God. Well, I hope Brother Dame has received your message because you know what I say, Bounce. I say this: feedback is a gift if you treat it that way. But I think I get where you're coming from. What you're saying is, in a way, in a more loving way, you're basically calling it out and saying he has a lot more work to do in order to prove he actually cares about black women.
He ain't never gonna do that, Dame. He has mommy issues and black women issues. Because I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you right now
Lord
what
have
it
mercy.
is. When he looks down, he refers to himself as Donald, like the women that Donald paid. So that's why he sips for Donald, because black women know what he's packing and it ain't much.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Listen, Bounce. All right, that's enough of that. I can't take too much more of it, all right? But
okay, I got one more thing to say, and then I'm gonna be done.
Is it about Dame? Because I don't want to elevate the brother too much on my show. And there's only one brother on the show that you should be honestly elevating, and it's me, Big Zeus. I just thought of that, but honestly, because I think, in my opinion, he's going to use that. He likes to use.
I don't care what he uses. He ain't hurting my feelings because he already told me once that he was going to come see me.
No. But what else did you have to say?
This.
Lord have mercy.
Let me say this, and I'm gonna be done. Did y'all hear about the mariachi family that was performed for Donald Trump, and then he went and had them put in ice?
Nuh-uh.
Yes, he did. And it was in Texas. And the kids, he went to, I think, 2 different states. They went to and picked up the kids and took the mama, the daddy.
Yeah.
They took the whole family. So what happened was it got a lot of attention and they got released a couple of days ago.
Amen.
So I
Amen.
just wanted you to know that.
God is great. God is great. Thank you. Thank you, Bounce. Thank you.
You're welcome. I had a wonderful time up here. I love your teeth.
Thank you.
They're just so pretty.
Thank you.
And I can see them in the light.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you stay blessed.
Well, you have a wonderful day. I got to go take care of my mama.
All
You
right.
know, she's got 89 years of black history in her.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Amen. Tell your mama
So
I said hello.
she is the queen.
Amen. All right.
Love you.
Love you too. All right. No lies detected. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, look. All right, ladies and gentlemen. It seems like the previous guest Bounce. She summoned Brother Dame, and I was on a show yesterday, so I'm curious to see if he would come up here and actually be a man of his word. Now, yesterday in your live, Dame. Hold on. There's a lot of background. Didn't you say you are?
Hold on. Let me get my headphones. This is about to be fun.
Yeah, yesterday in your live, you said something along the lines that you show compassion to people or something like that. Was that what you said? I'm going to see if he's a man of his word. No W dames on the chat. No W dames in this chat. Somebody wrote Dame is the only intelligent black person in here. Okay. Dame, come on. Where'd you go?
Black women straight jobs. He tells straight jobs. He's talking about black women.
That's how you sound. That's literally early in the morning. Zeus had an amazing monologue. You could have talked about Trump. She takes her 30 seconds of fame, Zeus, to talk about the God.
Who?
Well,
you call yourself?
Wait.
Well, did you call yourself the God?
Well, clearly, I'm in all these people's heads like God should be, so clearly I must be their God. Because Bounce thinking about Dame, and Dame ain't thinking about Bounce. Dame just woke up next to his woman. Dame ain't worried about Bounce, but Bounce worried about Dame. I haven't even had my coffee yet. Me and my girlfriend, no, Zeus, me and my girlfriend, we sitting here laughing at Bounce. Like, that is so random for her to come up and mention the dog. She's on your show, Zeus, she's on your show.
See.
And she comes up and mentions the dog.
Okay.
That should be alarming to you, Zeus.
Okay, slow down, bro.
I wasn't even the topic. Like, why am I on your brain?
Okay, listen.
Why am I on your brain?
Listen, wouldn't you agree that you're a divisive person? Let's just be honest. Aren't you a divisive person?
Well, Zeus, does TikTok force you to listen to my show? Can't you just block me and never see me again? Isn't it that easy?
Can we just answer Zeus's questions? Because I want to help you.
No, I'm not divisive. Hell no.
Okay. So that's number one, Dame. And I know you're there with your significant other, and I'd hate to do a brother like this early in the morning. But that's strike one. You're very divisive. Number two, did I hear you say that you're a god?
Yes.
Oh, that's strike two. See how this works?
God said he made me. God said he made me in the image of him.
And number three, see. And lastly,
Zeus, your name is literally a god.
See,
this man is crazy.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, Dame, that's strike three. Because now you're trying to match up and compare up to Big Zeus. I knew it. Look at that. Look at it. You got my live flag too, bro. Wow, bro. What kind of spirits are you bringing, ladies and gentlemen? You got the live flag too, bro. What are you bringing? No. Oh, listen, y'all.
Silence.
That was 3 strikes, bro. That was 3 strikes. But Dame, I appreciate the fact that you didn't go as dark as you could have, all right? Because I know you would have went there. But Bounce was right. Bounce was right, though. I mean, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, bro, here's the thing. Then that means you got a lot of work to do in that area. They say it, and it must be true. Because if you were really as supportive as they say you should be towards the black women, then you wouldn't be getting that kind of feedback. So you got to... Someone said he has a girlfriend, and that's misinformation. You know, and I didn't want to speak on that, but when you start off with I'm laying up with my significant other, I just said, oh my gosh. I almost got triggered. I almost had some PTSD in a way. You better be careful out there. Y'all better be careful. And again, oh my God, that's why I say I got to stick to politics, because sometimes, see, what we did was, and this is why I don't like to do it, you give these guys, you start mentioning their names a little too many times, and next thing you know, you give him a little rope, he thinks he's a cowboy. He's not a cowboy, right? No. You can't just, and in the kingdom, there's only one God, and it's me, Big Zeus, guardian of Olympus and divine. That's what it means. Guardian of Olympus, divine. Think about that. You're not a god. And that was your 3rd strike. So the first strike was the lie. The second strike was calling yourself a god. And then the 3rd strike was you measuring up and trying to compare to Big Zeus. I said, we don't want to do that. And then next thing you know, the live got flagged. Wow, what a disgrace. W Zeus. Good morning to Keisha. Let's try to get this thing back on track. My Lord. Good morning to Keisha.
Hey Zeus, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, and you?
I'm doing okay. I got 2 things to say. And the first one I just gotta say it. I think the issue is that Dame doesn't know how to control his anger.
Oh.
Because I noticed that when he gets upset, he does start to call women bees and then starts to body shame them. But then when you have a significant other that laughs at the disrespect that you give to other women, you've got the wrong significant other. So he's not going to get any better because he doesn't have a woman by his side that tells him, when you disrespect a woman, you're also disrespecting me. I have two sons, Zeus, and I teach my sons, do not ever call a woman something that you don't want a man to call me. And any woman that sits up and laughs when a man degrades a woman, or laughs when a woman is saying that her man degraded another woman, that's not a woman, that's a pick-me. And you got to do better than getting a pick-me. You need a real woman to help you with the issues that you have with your anger issues. Because that's all it is. It's just anger. Learn how to control your anger so that you can stop calling women something that you wouldn't want a man calling your mother.
Amen. That's a good
And
advice.
Bounce, stop talking about him every time you get up here. Just let it go.
Mm.
If you know it's not going to get any better, leave that man's name out your mouth and just let it go. But now on to Donald Trump.
Takesha coming up here with some words of wisdom, all right?
I'm being serious. You got to stop. You got to keep that man's name out your mouth because it's not going to get any better. You and him going back and forth. It doesn't solve anything that's going on right now. Just let it go. Stop getting upset with Dame. Let it go. Now, as for these shoes, the shoes are not the issue, Zeus.
Nah.
Although they are the ugliest shoes I've ever seen in my life. The issue is they are sitting up there giving him reports on what's going on.
Yeah.
And instead of him focusing on the issues of this country, he focused on their shoes.
Yeah. Ain't that something?
He not serious about nothing that's going on in this country. You sitting up focusing on these folks' shoes and they telling you about national intelligence and they thinking it's funny. That story was not funny. That story lets me know that this man does not have the capability to be the president of these United States.
You think so, Takesha? Hold on. I can't let that slide. What you just said, Takesha. Come on. You said it's not about these shoes.
Zeus.
Talk to him. Hold on.
That's just like you at your child's school.
Talk to me about
in the
shoes.
Principal's office. Listen, because your child is being bullied. And instead of you listening to what they saying the bully did to your child, you focusing on what the bully got on at school. How is that conducive to the issue?
It ain't.
Okay then.
W to
He focused on their shoes. They trying to give him a report on how to keep this country safe. And his mind is on, you need better shoes. Come on, Zeus.
Yeah.
What is serious about this man? He told them the war was almost over because he wanted to manipulate the market, Zeus.
Yep.
He did it right before the market closed.
Yep.
So them gas prices could go down and that stock market could go up. They keep letting him manipulate them in the market. I'm not a fool.
Yeah.
This war is not almost over. They are deploying people right now. I know somebody who's been deployed.
You do?
Yes. So my thing is this. Stop lying. It's not over. Iran is not giving up. They already said, Donald, don't mess around and be a casualty. You have taken this man's father and his bed partner out, and you think this man just gonna sit up and say, well, if they say it's over, it's over. No.
Nope.
You went to the wrong country. You should have sat down and let it go.
Yeah. Amen. W to Keisha. See, so what you're saying is Donald Trump isn't accomplishing any of the objectives that he said that they were supposed to be accomplishing. And as a matter of fact, things might actually end up being worse for Donald Trump.
Zeus?
Yeah.
You don't move stuff into a country. You don't keep talking about how you gonna hit them harder if you've gotten rid of their Navy. They army.
Nope.
All the stuff they said they didn't got rid of. Why are they sending people over there and setting up they weapons? Or what would be the purpose?
Yeah.
They ain't got nothing to fight with if you done destroyed all that. Zeus.
Yeah.
So why we going over there with the other stuff for? Why is Pete had said to me we gonna hit them harder? You saying you destroyed everything already?
Amen. It's already worse.
Are they not reading between the lines? Do they not have the correct comprehension skills when it comes to all these lies this administration tells us?
Hey, I've been asking myself that same question, Takesha. Do the Trump supporters have any kind of self-respect or dignity enough to actually acknowledge that Donald Trump is lying to them and gaslighting? And I'm at the point now where I don't believe they do. Right? And these are supposedly
It's not
Christians.
It's not even about self-respect, Zeus. What it's about is the fact that they don't have comprehension skills. They're not using their common sense because they gave it all to Donald Trump. So they don't have any, Zeus.
Yeah. See that?
And that's the issue. Stop believing everything this man says.
Amen.
I'm so sick of hearing about the 2020 election. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to go.
Well, you got a few more minutes. Let's see.
Investigating the 2020 election.
Yeah.
It's like me. Okay, say I was married.
Yeah.
I got a PI to investigate my husband cheating on me.
Lord have
The
mercy.
PI come back and say, okay, he wasn't cheating. But I divorce him anyway, right?
Yeah.
Then 6 years later, Zeus.
Yeah.
I hire another PI to see if my ex-husband was cheating on me 6 years ago, Zeus. Zeus, what sense does that make?
You looking for trouble in all the wrong
What
places.
is that gonna prove, Zeus? Me investigating a affair 6 years after I done got a divorce. What purpose is it gonna serve?
It's gonna prove that you need to be put into an insane asylum in a way.
Because I ain't got common sense. But anytime, narcissists, they can't accept rejection. And that's all that's going on. He cannot accept that he was rejected in 2020. And I told y'all when he got back in office, I said, Zeus, America is going to be his retribution.
Amen.
And he proving it every day. He's doing nothing to help us. He's only destroying us.
Amen. Tell him, Takesha.
I'm done.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, show Takesha some love. As you can see, the gifting has now been turned back on. I don't know what happened, but Dame, he got up in here. And I thank you so much, Takesha, because, you're right. We don't need to focus on Dame that much on this show. None of these characters.
Just let that go.
We need to focus on getting the truth out here and making sure.
Yeah, just let it go.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all look at that, Takesha. You got a lot of fans out here. Wow.
Oh, thank y'all so much.
Yeah. We're going to get it back on track.
y'all.
Yeah, W to all of the gifters. All right, Takesha, thank you.
All right, Zeus. Y'all have a great day.
You too. All right, disconnect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
If you're not...
Whoa. No. All right, let's move it along. Do we have any Trump voters up here that want to get up here and speak on the issues, all right? We don't want to bring the personal BS into the show, all right? We got to keep it real clean because things get very nasty real fast. I've been on this app for a while. Any Trump supporters out there that want to come up here and defend their daddy, please send Big Zeus a guest request. We'll get you in and get you out as quick as possible. Oh, look at that. I got my good friend Jim. Wow. I haven't seen you in a while. Well, W, Kenny. Thank you. Christina, stop it. Hi, Jim. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
A lot better now that you're here. Wow.
Oh, thank you so much.
By the way,
your show-
congratulations. By the way, I saw your video yesterday. Congratulations. That's a significant milestone. I'm not going to say too much more about it, but thank you for sharing it.
Thank you for being a part of the journey. I really do. I meant what I said. I think it was an educational piece to teach people that we can collectively come together for supporting people, and we're all going to be there at some point. So it's important to learn the lessons, and if we can help people grow along the way through a darkness, right? Comes the light.
Amen.
So
that's facts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But I'm glad you're here this morning. Yeah.
Thank you. Speaking of why do we have lights? You ever think about why we have lights?
I mean, that's a great question. Maybe to get rid of the darkness. That's what I.
To get rid of the darkness.
Yeah.
And so in order to get rid of the darkness, we shine a light, right? We
Yeah,
can
yeah.
see our way. We can find the path. We
Facts.
can head in the right direction, right?
Facts.
Why do we have lanes?
To help guide you down the right path, I guess. Right? I mean, I'm just thinking
to help the flow, right? Because yeah, keep going. We're doing this back and forth. I think there might be a slight delay. I have a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, there is a delay, so I don't want to.
So I'll pause. Which is weird because we're both on the East Coast, but I do have a delay. It might just be the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So we have lanes to guide the flow, right?
Yes.
Right. So you live in the Bay Area. You know how many lanes there are, and those lanes, if we didn't have them, there'd be a multitude of what if we didn't stay in our lane?
Traffic or accidents.
Accidents, crashes, right? When you just cross on over, you crash and burn, and it causes a pileup, right?
Yeah.
Stops everything from moving, right? Why do we have tires on a car?
Well, you need that in order for the car to be able to roll across the road, right? I mean, that helps get you help the car move.
Right, to help it move. And if it's not moving and all the tires are off, we typically have it up on what?
A tow truck. Or bricks.
Or blocks.
Yeah.
Or blocks, right?
Okay, you went there. Yeah.
So you see in the picture I'm painting here, so every single thing. So why do we have regulations? You ever think about regulations?
Well, some of them are aimed at, safety, right? It helps keep things safer for the people in general, right?
Right. Safety, protocols, follow things so that people who are new coming into a situation know exactly what to look at, read, and understand when taking said position so they know how the function and the flow works.
Yeah.
Kind of like a lane.
Yeah.
Kind of like how tires help the car function and flow.
Yeah.
Kind of like how the light shows you the path, right?
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. It's real interesting when you put that all together. Why do you have leaders?
Well, they should be doing their job to accomplish the mission of whatever it is, the organization, or the government, right? I mean, they are the ones that carry the vision. That's what I think.
Okay. And then do leaders manage the work, or do leaders lead the people who manage the work?
Usually it should be the latter, right? Leading the
Right.
people that manage the work. If
Exactly.
you got a competent leader.
Exactly. And then why do we educate children?
Because they're the future, right? They're going to be
They're
the
the
future
future.
leaders. They're going to be the future leaders, right?
Or the future
Well.
laborer.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah, it goes both ways.
Oh, look. So if we put that all together, okay, and
Yeah.
we think about all those things I mentioned, when we don't shine a light on something and have transparency, it hides in the dark. When we don't have a lane to follow to create a flow in the federal government, it literally creates a roadblock, a crash. Things start to fall apart. So you've got the economy crashing. You've got all of the things blocking up. You've got federal programs that aren't happening. You can't shine a light on everything because they keep turning the lights off so nobody can pay attention to what they're doing in the dark.
Yeah.
When you roll back regulations, you take away the safety precautions that are put into place to protect the very people that are actually the laborers doing the work, while the leaders are literally taking the money from the people who are paying for the labor to get done.
Wow.
When you look at all the things that this administration has consistently done, the regulations have been rolled back, the lights have been turned off, the lanes of traffic have been stopping the flow. They'll buy 4 shoes for the richest white man running the Department of War or the Secretary of State while taking away the shoes and the food out of your babies' mouths.
Wow.
See, your money and your tax dollars are paying for all of these things while they get richer and richer and richer. And this isn't just about right here, right all the way back to the first term. This goes all the way back to the lights being shut off in Helsinki.
Yeah.
This goes back to that 2-hour meeting where they joined forces and nobody has any type of transparency about what happened in that conversation
Yeah.
when the president of the United States came out and took the side of Putin over the intelligence agencies.
Wow.
This is where it goes all the way back to. And this isn't new. This is literally what we did. We warned them. We said, look, if he gets back into office, this is not about you and me. This is about him and what he gets to take.
Yeah.
And so we are literally being robbed day and night. Every single thing that every American citizen has literally worked hard, has put money into, is being harmed. Every little regulation that keeps us safe as American citizens has been harmed. Our food, our water, our air, our education, our school system, the Department of Education that oversees by giving what? Money to the states to educate the youngest, because he who rocks the cradle rules the world. But really, is it he that rocks the cradle typically? No, it's she.
Wow.
It's she who rocks the cradle, rules the world. Because it is the mothers of this country that rule the world. It's the mothers of this country that carry the life inside their bodies, that provide the children of this country. And now what did they do? They came back into office, and these Republicans rolled back the age, the labor age. They rolled back the time that your children can work. Instead of saying, educate your children, feed your children, take care of your children, provide health care for your children, we're going to take that all away and enrich ourselves. And if any of you have never seen the video, the literal video of Trump's granddaughter in LA at the most expensive store, did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. How tone deaf is she? The entire family.
And in that video, she literally says, I'm going to go bankrupt spending money in here. It's a family legacy to go bankrupt, but usually it's bankrupting others, not themselves.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing. We have to start as a collective asking the whys.
Right.
Why is this administration not transparent? Because they're corrupt. Why is this administration rolling back ability to access education? Why are they taking away food programs for children? Why are they rolling back healthcare? Why are they doing all the things? Because if they can make you hungrier, if they can make you believe absurdities, if they can make you do all the things that they need you to do to get just for yourself and not for the collective good, it creates a bigger vacuum. And the vacuum is harming the United States of America. And I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent. The truth of the matter is at this point in time, if you are no longer looking at the whole picture, asking the why, the what, the when, the how, and the who, those are the questions. Who's harming us? It's not Democrats or women or immigrants. It's literally the people sitting in this administration. How are they doing it? Congress is allowing them to do it. They've abdicated their co-equal branch of government. They're not caring for you as the American citizen. They're using you as the American citizen to take your tax dollars and go spend it on things that don't belong to them, like pianos, like 4 pairs of shoes for each of those men. How gross is that? And in that picture, did you happen to have that picture available where Pete Hegseth is standing behind Marco Rubio? And Trump?
Yeah. Let's get that on the books, ladies and gentlemen, because when you see stuff like this, you have to call it what it is, and diabolical to say the least.
Look at Pete Hegseth's shoes in comparison to Marco Rubio's. Okay? Because he has to stand out, right? So he's going to get a different color pair of shoes, right? Got to look different.
Oh my God.
He's got to have a different flow, right? So here's the thing. This is something I want everybody. I don't care who you are. I want you to go literally Google everything I just said. Google why we have regulations. Google why we educate children. Google why we have rules. Google why we have traffic lanes. Google why we have lights. The simplest answers are going to come to you that if you fail to ask the who, what, where, when, and how, and if you can't answer those truthfully to yourself, you are part of the problem.
Amen.
But if you can honestly say to yourself that as a Republican, I voted the wrong way this time because I voted for people that literally are doing harm to every American citizen.
That part.
That our literal military, Zeus, is overseas right now.
Yeah.
In everywhere from Cyprus to Jordan to Dubai to Bahrain to Kuwait, to Iran, Iraq, all of these places, Lebanon, and our bases are being boom-doomed.
They are.
But they're telling you that Iran was literally obliterated in June, but all of a sudden they have this immense capability of dropping exact precise locations to our bases.
Ain't that something?
They have the ability to harm our service members, Zeus.
Yeah.
So yesterday it came out that over 140 of our service members were injured. 140. 8 of them critically.
You hear that,
8
MAGA?
of them now, and 8 of them have now been pronounced unalived, right? We're not getting the full story because they're not shining the light on that. We're also not staying in our own lane. We're not doing any of the things, and we're not educating the people, because if we keep the people in the dark, we think we do better. So I'm just asking everybody in here, don't listen to what it's being fed to you. Don't even trust what I'm telling you, what Zeus is telling you. Get off TikTok and start asking those questions. Who is controlling Congress? Who's sitting in the White House? Who's running the government? Who's dropping the boom booms on whom? Who's in international waters unaliving people without evidence? What is the outcome? Mass casualties. Why are they doing it? Then ask yourself, where are you doing any better? Because you're not. Your gas prices are going up. Your food's going up. You still don't have medical. The job loss is incredible in this country. It is tanking faster than we've ever seen it in our entire history.
Amen.
And I'm just asking you, I don't care who you are, do yourself a favor to educate yourself.
Amen.
And get the who, what, where, when, and why.
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is this isn't even about gas anymore. The gas is just a way to steal more money. The gas is just a way to hide the truth.
Yeah.
And when corruption is allowed, when criminality is allowed, and that's what's happened, is your entire Republican Congress has allowed this man to run rimshot, not only over the United States of America, but to abuse the powers internationally. We are not the force that they claim we are. We are literally an international disgrace right now. And it is up to every one of us, the American people, to collectively take back our country by voting like we've never voted before. Register to vote, get your neighbors, your friends, and everything. We have to get these people out, take our country back, and literally handle business.
Amen.
This is our time as United States citizens. Normally people call us Americans, which always blows me away. Literally, because that's why they're calling it the Greater North America now, because they want to change everything. They want to put Trump on a dollar bill. I just want to let you know, or not a dollar bill, that was a Freudian slip. $100 bill.
I thought it was a $250 bill.
Yesterday, they showed the mock-up, and the mock-up was a $100 bill. Just want to remind people, we don't literally put presidents on money until they're not here on the planet. We don't put names on buildings for memorials until they're not here on the planet. This man is trying to slap his name on everything. And again, that would be up to your congressional leaders to stop him in his tracks and say no.
Wow.
Now, eventually, this is all going to be reversed. It will be. But it'll only be reversed, Zeus, when you and me and everybody else decides that enough is enough. They cannot take any more from us. We have to collectively stand up, put the brakes on everything these people are doing, and stand up to protect the United States of America and our place in the world. And we are going to have to figure out how we clean up the mess that was left behind. And that's going to be left, unfortunately, to our children and our children's children moving forward, because it's going to take better than 20 years to get this cleaned up. So I'm just asking you all, no matter who you are in here, without insults or any type of pain cast at you, do your due diligence to protect the future generations. We need the lights. We need the education. We need the lanes. We need the regulations. We need the healthcare. We need the food for our children. Amen. So collectively, as United States citizens, vote your conscience to protect all American citizens, to protect all of our relationships with allies and enemies abroad, because we have to come together to protect those who are serving abroad right now, who are literally sitting in open fields like in Kuwait, where they were boomed with no protection whatsoever. And so far, that's been the greatest loss of life that's been reported. But there are more to come. And if these people are allowed to remain in office, it is all of us that are at risk, not just some of us. I love you, Zeus. Have a great day.
All right. All right. W. Jim, ladies and gentlemen, laid it all down on the line. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the much more to come, right, Ange? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, show the beautiful Jim some love. She gives a lot. She gives a lot. I gotta say, thank you so much. Thank you. Wow, you have a strong following in here. W's in the chat for Jim again. All right, any Trump voters out there, put a 1 in the chat, send a guest request. You know the rule. All right, and we'll get you in and we'll get you out as quick as we can, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't take long. All right, it really doesn't. Oh, okay. All right, there you go. Okay, all righty then, ladies and gentlemen. Who do we got right here? Shuby. Good morning, Shuby. Welcome.
Is everybody gonna come out of there like that? They don't want to help you, you know. They throw you to the trash. It's some modern day slave camp. That's what it is.
What?
This is too.
Hold on.
That's what all of them
Shuby, what you talking about?
Modern day slave.
Shuby.
Yeah.
Shuby, what you doing to Shuby?
And
Can you
you're
hear
not
me?
getting nowhere. I mean, well,
Shuby.
black folk don't get nowhere.
Shuby.
Some of them get, but it's like you can work 3 jobs.
Shuby, cut it out now.
You
Shuby, you acting up in the background. Shuby, I can hear you talking, Shuby.
I don't see why nobody need all that money.
Shuby.
Sitting there.
So she's still
right.
Ladies and gentlemen, y'all can't listen to that. That's black folk talking in the background about serious business. That shouldn't have been on TikTok. Shuby. Come on, Shuby. Now you gonna act like you don't know you in the box. That's Shuby. You sound like you might be a Zeus fan, but we can't have you just disclosing and saying stuff like that, Shuby. All right, that's at least 2 galaxies, right? Don't block her. I shouldn't block her. You wanted to listen, sissy? CC, okay, fine. But you see she was over there talking. She's talking that talk. She shouldn't be talking like that while Big Zeus is live and doing the work of the Lord. All right. That's you could get in trouble defiling the kingdom in a way, Shuby. Somebody said don't block her and you were enjoying it. Fair enough. Lord have mercy. All right. Please, mods, please get access to her and put her on a payment plan because that's 2 galaxies. W Zeus. You all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. Oh my gosh. Y'all want me to block Dame? I can't block. I don't block people on my platform, but you got to understand.
Oh, Lord.
Miss Mo.
I'm sorry, Zeus. I hit by accident.
Uh-oh.
Hello?
You know what that
Zeus?
means, ma'am?
I hit by accident.
What's the rule? Oh, you just gonna drop? That's how many galaxies, chat, is that? How many galaxies is that for Miss Mo? How many galaxies is that for Miss Mo? And we could get her all right 2 galaxies. And we could put you on a payment plan, but reach out to one of the mods. They'll help you get set up. All right, W to the chat for Aviator. A layaway plan, yeah. Someone wrote 5 galaxies. I just don't get it. I really don't. Hey, Kabira. Oh, I got to bring up my good friend Layla. Haven't seen you in a while. Good morning, Layla. Did you intend to come up here?
Yeah, but I'm not a Trump supporter, so
I know.
I just wanted to contribute to the chat. How are you?
I am doing all right. How are you?
I think it's funny. People got to go on a payment plan for galaxies, but I didn't know about the rules, bro. Growing in this world. I had a
W to all the gifters. Yeah, go ahead, speak.
I want to know what people thought in regards to the Democrats. And I've seen a number of Democrats come out for the DSA saying that Democrats, Socialists of America, are the way to go. But after Trump said, along with that, after Trump said he will not sign a bill until the Save America Act is voted on, I wonder how we move forward with this current Democratic caucus, because they aren't being effective and they it seems like they're not listening. It seems like we the people are talking and they are not hearing us or listening.
Yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts, I guess? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that there are some great like new contributors to the Democratic Party, some political strategists that need to be welcomed into the fold. Instead of David Hogg being on an island of his own, I think they need to be supported. I think when Democrats come out with Islamophobic hate like Cuomo did, they need to be called out. I don't think progressives need to trade their ideology in order to have endorsements like Mondami did with Hakeem Jeffries. I think that we need to start demanding transparency, clear yes and no answers rather than this is what we've historically done. I think, and I think we need to put a cap on how much a person has to raise in order to run. Like you, for instance, if you wanted to run for your city council, why do you have to raise $15,000? I'm sure it's more than that, $25,000 in order to run. And many people on this app, when I go live, when you go live, ask like, why aren't we running? I can't afford it. I can't afford eggs. What makes you think I can raise $20,000 to run? And it's like, and it really, and looking back at the Texas campaign between Crockett and Tallarico, the divisiveness within the Democratic camp was startling. Like there was no clear voice from DC guiding people. What was the message? I still don't know how the Department of Education is going to be saved. I don't know how we're going to remove Trump and his circle of peace or table of peace or whatever the hell, whatever it is. When the Democrats get back in office, are we going to give Venezuela back? Like, can somebody walk me through what the plan is when we win the midterms?
Yeah.
I truly agree. The man needs, and on top of that, I truly agree the man is abhorrent, ignorant, needs to go. But JD Vance, that is scary. Peter Thiel, scarier. Mike Johnson, ooh. And I can't believe these people show up every day. Yeah. And when I watch the news, we hear Democrats saying colleagues, saying we, and the Republicans say me.
Yeah.
Me, my people. What we meaning the GOP, not you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of frustrating when I see Chuck Schumer like hobnobbing it with Thune. And I'm like, if this country ends up going into a depression or they have gas lines wrapped around the corner, they'll still get to work, not me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I wonder, what do you think they could be doing for the messaging?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
they could come talk
to me.
They could come talk to Big Zeus. And get the
I
game.
would love for you to get paid.
No,
Why aren't you paid like a Harriet Parker or a Dean to go live all day and
I'm like
promote the message?
Because I gotta get active. I gotta get active out here in the real world, so I can't post up on the line like that. But I'll say this. It's amazing who our bedfellows are, so to speak, right now. Donald Trump has found a unique way to unite a lot of us who are on the left, because I think if you're speaking of the left in general. There's a lot of passion towards different goals and objectives, which I think kind of contributed in a way to us losing in the midterm, assuming you're accepting the outcome of the last election, right? I'm only focusing on, and this is just me, affordability and accountability. And I think if you keep the message to those points, I think you'll be fine. You know what I mean? It's really that simple at this point. We want accountability for what's going on right now, and then we want affordability. When you start getting into like things tied to ideology, I think there needs to be the understanding on the left, especially that takes a lot of work on a personal level to deconstruct a lot of your biases and your beliefs in order to get other people who don't subscribe to that to at least be okay with it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I believe that had a contribution in Texas. There had to be a lot of unpacking for many of, if Beto O'Rourke couldn't win, right? And we know what he is presenting. It was going to take more than one senatorial election to get Jasmine Crockett elected.
Well,
they had to do
about
a lot of unpacking.
Let's be honest about Texas, and I get it, and I haven't spoken on it, but we wanted Jasmine to win, but are we really shocked that there's racism in the state of Texas? Are you there?
Absolutely not. But that's why you say unpacking. That's going to take what? We still have people talking about reparations, and we're talking about. I had a meeting with a Democratic donor, and we're talking. He's a Democrat. He's like strong Democrat. He's like, I wish Doge would have done their job. I said, what? He said, yeah, Doge should have done their job. They should have stayed on. I said, what? And this is somebody who gave
He
thousands,
said he was a
if not
Democrat.
more.
He said he
And
was
I'm
a.
like, yes. And I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
what? Now, let
Not
me tell you.
everybody. Not everybody that claims they're a Democrat is a Democrat, right? And that's the other side of this,
Holla,
right?
holla, holla.
You
Say
see
it
what I'm
again.
saying? So a lot of people use it to get into position, but it goes back to who the person really is. That's why I say a person's character is honestly what you got to be able to look at and dissect. I'm an open-minded person. I haven't always been. And maybe there's more work that I need to do, but the way that I look at it, whether if you're talking about slavery and racism, if you know American history, we're a young country. That's always been an issue from the very beginning. But other priorities took place and took precedent over it. Other things were more important when it came to addressing what the priorities were for the country. For instance, at the very beginning, if you're talking about, we know there's racism, but getting our independence took the priority. You know what I mean? And so it's just been going through that process, whether it could be, education, it could be national security. Other things tend to become the main issue, things around the economy, but racism seems to have always been involved in this. And so what I would like to do is you got to have authentic discussions with people and understand that a lot of people are going to make mistakes. A lot of people are bad people. And you got to be able to draw your boundaries and stay the course. All right. And so my hope is this. I hope the Democrat Party doesn't get caught up in their ideology and they focus on, honestly, what really is going on in America. I can live with somebody that has a different belief system about, the LGBTQ plus stuff, even racism. I can live with it because sooner or later I'm gonna be able to cut ties and, create distance. But when you start talking about going to war, or you start talking about just going directly at my wallet and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, all right, we gotta figure out how to understand, like, we want to get here, but this is the path to getting there. And maybe some of you might not get what you want, but you know what? If we stick to it, we'll be able to do what you're trying to do as well, right? That's what needs to happen, right? That's why I felt like Kamala Harris should have won, because I know that she was a better person to at least press the issue with. Because it's not in her to just wake up and lie. It had nothing to do with her being a black woman.
No,
They like
I
to
think
say,
and it's too easy. It's become too easy for, I think, many people to accept the lie rather than the reality. And I wonder how many, because he's so fluent at marketing and he has such a good team at marketing BS, like credit cards and gold cards. And these things are not tangible. They're not helping us in our day-to-day existence. And I'm beginning to wonder if anyone out there that actually continues to support this and vote for this see any benefit in this current administration.
No, they can't.
Like, I'm really tired of showing up for it.
There's no Trump voter out here right now that in good faith can justify the things Donald Trump has been doing. I've been on this app for a while. You've seen me. Haven't you seen the number of Trump supporters that are brave enough to actually come up here, stay on topic, and try to justify the things Donald Trump is doing? They don't want to come up here and speak on it. All they got is, what about Biden? And I'm going,
I see Dame in your chat. I'm willing to drop for you to bring Dame up. He says Trump RX is amazing. For what, Ozempic? I can't even afford that. So
yeah.
I mean, $25 insulin would be great.
But again, even then, you got to go one step further, right? All right, if you believe it's great, show me the evidence of how it's actually benefiting you. And they can never do it. Show us how great your 401ks are. They can never do it. Show us your savings account. They can never do it. So we're at a point now with MAGA where we just have to understand this is a I call it a evil group of individuals, right? There's the demonic force with them. They are going to go down with the sinking ship. And we have to be comfortable with that. And because you want to waste your time arguing with these people. That's just my opinion. All right. Now, listen, Layla, I got to moving on. What a great conversation. I like it. I appreciate you challenging us to start thinking a little bit about other things going on within the party as well, because that's needed too. All right. Uh-oh, she left already. All right, W for Layla. Yeah. See, I'm the Rizzler. I could take it both ways. I mean, in a clean way. I see where some of your minds went. Keep it clean out there. I got myself. But yeah. We just gotta, the Democrats. We got no pause for you. But listen, the Democrats, because I know what they think, and the right is really good at this. There's no real solid men in the Democrat Party. We're all weak. They want to portray us as that, but if they really believe that, if they really believe the Democrats were weak, then they wouldn't be panicking the way that they are. All right. And the reason that they're panicking is look at what Donald Trump is trying to do. The gerrymandering. What happened when he did the gerrymandering? He activated Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom was minding his own out here on the West Coast, and then Donald Trump did what he did, lied about him with the wildfires. Gavin Newsom's on that behind like white on rice. The right knows, because they know we're more of an intelligent species. The right knows that the Democrats are a lot more intelligent, and we don't play any games when it comes to the facts. Now, at the end of the day, we might not all get along, but if you push the issue, we'll make sure we know how to send the message. That's why he's trying to do the gerrymandering. That's why he's trying to do the whole, let's go ahead and go into Minnesota with ICE and then try to threaten them and say, if you want us to withdraw ICE, you got to give us your voter rolls. That's why he sent them out there to go after Fani Willis, give us your voter rolls. That's why the states are having to sue. They're trying to sue all these states for their voter rolls, because they want access to those voter rolls so that they can, try to rig it, right? So you got the gerrymandering, you got the voter rolls being rigged, and that's all not working. And now he's doing this ridiculous Save America Act. Why do you need to do all of this to try to win, champ? Why? They said, we're going to even do this. We're going to put the cherry on top, and we're going to make it about Donald Trump again. They said, now, normally you don't have the president in the midterms, but we're going to put Trump out there now. So Trump is actually having to campaign on top of doing a terrible job. I mean, they are so desperate to try to win because guess what? The Democrats aren't weak. And it's not just the Democrats, I'll be honest. It's honestly real Republicans, and I've been saying it, real independents who want, guess what? Accountability and affordability. It's that simple. And then, I'm at the point now where I've said this, and people might not like it, but I said it. I'm like, listen, whatever personal issues you got, set them aside this cycle. All right. Because we got a demon in the White House, and he is not playing games. He is trying to get a third term. And if you don't have the bandwidth, the capacity to mentally say, I got to quiet out all these other distractions and make sure I don't get discouraged, to get out there and vote, then we have a problem in this country. All right. That's a huge W, Zeus. Yeah. That's a huge W, Zeus. All right. All right. Let me bring up my good friend, brother Val. Welcome, Val. How are you doing, bro?
Well, other than I got like 1 million 911s just a minute ago.
Uh-oh, really? You got 1 million 911s? Wow. You okay? That's kind of scary.
The thing is, and I want to make it clear to people when we come up into these lives and we talk about people and races that have been ran and stuff like that, we need to quit attacking the people that have won these races. Okay, we need to quit attacking Democrats that have gone through and done what they've done. The race between Tallarico and Jasmine Crockett was a well-ran race by both candidates. Okay, and Tallarico won. In the story, we need to back that. Even Jasmine Crockett is backing that because she knows what is coming. Okay, we need to quit going after these candidates.
But it's a sore issue for people, and we get that, right? So I don't want to minimize, because it's a sore issue, especially when a lot of things are out there being said. But you know what you just said to me, Val? It was like, you ever heard that expression? It was a tough pill to swallow. This is one of those moments. It is a tough pill to swallow, but do we want Donald Trump to get a third term? That's the question.
Right. Not only do we want to get Donald Trump to get a new third term, do you want another Republican Senate? Okay. These are the things people need to start understanding. And for whoever said Tallarico was just a teacher, I want to mind everybody that man has spent the last 4 years or 6 years in the state Senate. Okay. And he has fought that Senate and got more legislation passed in that Senate, which is a Republican Senate, 1 seat shy of a supermajority. Okay. And getting people to cross that aisle. He has worked hard for where he's at today in this state. And usually people that say that are not from this state.
What is this? Everything. What is that saying about Texas? Never mind. I'm not going to say Texas, but you're right. I'm not from the state. That's why I said, you know what? It is what it is. You know,
Right.
is Jasmine saying it was rigged? Did she say it was a rigged system? Is she going? I have the utmost respect for her because I said she lost the election, but she actually, as far as I'm concerned, won a lot of respect. Which is, I
Oh,
think,
absolutely.
which is on. Yeah.
Jasmine Crockett is not done, people, not by any
No.
means. What she has coming in her future this may be a blessing in disguise for her, because what she has coming in her future is going to be big.
Yeah, she's to me, she's a force, a big force. And I've learned one thing in this lifetime, right? There have been things in life I could have swore I wanted, Val, and this is just me on a personal level, right? And I didn't get it, and I was like, but you know, if you got,
Hold on, folks.
what was that?
The comment down below. To whoever John Stalker is that wrote, Jasmine is suing. No, Jasmine Crockett is not suing anybody. Wrong. That's a false story. And for also who wrote that Tallarico has taken APAC money. Tallarico has never taken a single dime from APAC money. A matter of fact, neither one of these candidates have any proven knowledge of ever taking anything from APAC.
Really?
Jasmine Crockett or Tallarico.
Okay, see, I mean, but independently, like everyone in Jim said, you got to go do your research, folks. All right, and again, we are really the question we all have to ask ourselves on a personal level is: do you want Donald Trump to have a third term or not? Because he really is trying to get a third term, because that'll be his only way to stay away from going to prison the rest of his life. Because we're going to investigate him. So this is where we're at. And I'm not minimizing how people feel, but this is where I'm at, ladies and gentlemen, with the entire thing. I don't want to see, this is just me on we saw what happened when people got, didn't they give up a little bit on Joe Biden and Kamala Harris over the conflict with Israel and Gaza, remember?
Oh yeah.
And I saw what was happening and I was just like, ah. And I got it. I get it. I get there's a grievance, but I don't understand, like, what more evidence do you really need to see that Donald Trump is as crazy as he is? He's not playing
What more
games.
do you need to see other than the last week? Every gain that this man touted over the last week has lost in the stock market. Okay, plus losses. All right, every gain that this man's touted for just in 1 week, his decisions in 1 week have, you know what I'm saying, dropped the stock market, raised our gas prices. We're now over $100 a barrel in oil prices. If you don't understand what that means, do a little research, because that means that not just our gas prices are going to go up. That means everything we purchase is going to go up again. So everybody that griped about groceries being cheap, you know what I'm saying, or tried to say they were getting cheaper and all that stuff, well, that's gone. Because at $100 gas prices, it costs a lot of money. Airplane tickets, if we go and fly, that's going to be a lot of money. Everywhere we travel is going to be a lot of money.
Please don't say that again.
Everything we touch, buy, or go to is going to cost more money because of this man's decisions over the last week. If you don't get that, if you don't get what you're fighting for and you want to stick with this Tellerico Jasmine thing to try to make some kind of protest vote, you are the problem. Hear me when I tell you this. You are the problem.
Well, let's go ahead and we got to say it like this. I think this is just me, Val, because I know that I'm not from Texas, but I understand the culture. A lot of people are saying, this is a hill we're willing to unalive on, so to speak, because it's that blatant in their head. You know, there's elements of racism that have played out into this, right? And so if you're the problem, then it could turn into them really just digging in and saying, you know what, I'm not with this. But I'll say this. I think it's very important that Tallarico acknowledge this energy out there and do everything in his power. If he's really a great politician, which it seems like he is, he has to do everything in his power to earn. You know what I'm saying? Earn it, because it can't come across that it's expected. That's just me, and that's where I'm at with it, right? Because if not, it will, in my opinion, not sit well. But on a bigger pic, in terms of the bigger framework or the bigger issue, I still think Donald Trump is trying to get a third term. I think he is definitely all over the Epstein files, and that's part of the reason why he's doing everything you just described. And unfortunately, nature isn't fair. This is a lot of things people don't understand. An animal in the jungle, it's not fair for the gazelle, but things happen in the jungle. In this country, everything will not be fair. But if you understand what Val is trying to say and what I'm trying to say, it's this. It's not fair right now, but this guy in the White House, he's not playing. And we'll be able to address these other issues if after we address this demon in the White House, right? Note it down in your notepad. This happened, and like I said, Tallarico, please, you're now the winner. You got a job to do. You got to start mending these broken hearts out there. Otherwise, it's not going to sit well. All right. So that's where I'm at, Val. But I think you're.
No,
I appreciate you.
no, it's right. That any politician that sets forth and wants to step in that seat needs to work for the people.
Yeah.
These are the things, you know what I'm saying? These are the things that, we have to start understanding. But if we start making every race, every political race about race, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah. Well, that's a deep one. You're right. It can't be about one thing. Every race can't be about one particular issue. I agree with that, Brother Val. I do. But you know what? Look at the time. We got to move it along. Was there anything else you wanted to get out before we move it along? But,
No, I just need people to understand we need to come together.
Yeah.
We need to understand what we're voting for in this election cycle. We cannot relive 2024 again.
Please don't. Please don't. Okay. If you're listening to this show, please don't do it.
The number of voters that I want to make this clear. The number of voters that decided to protest vote, decided to vote for some third party, decided not to vote on the ticket or on that particular race, because they wanted some sort of protest vote, is the reason we have Donald J. Trump in office.
That's a tough pill to swallow. That's a tough pill to swallow, but I would say this: it's part of the reason. We can't put it all.
It's not part of the reason.
It's part
numbers,
of it. Well, because
the numbers don't lie, Zeus. But it is not part of the reason.
Well,
it is
wait
the
a second.
main reason.
Didn't Elon have something to do with it?
Well, no. I'm not talking about the spread that kept MAGA voters voting the way they did.
But I'm saying you can't put it. You can't put it all on just one subset. A lot of factors. This is just my opinion. A lot of things contribute towards winning an election and losing. And so the concern that I have is to just place the burden of responsibility on one particular group of people when we got to understand the electorate is very wide and there are a lot of different issues that contributed to that.
Almost 4 million people protest voted.
Yeah.
Another 3 million people didn't even vote on the presidential ticket.
Yeah. I acknowledge that. I'm not saying that none of that happened, but let's not mistake what really happened either. Let's just throw it out there. Inserting Kamala and only giving her 100 days. That didn't help us. You know what I'm saying?
Those types of things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't, to me, all of these things may have contributed to that scenario, but I don't like putting it on a group of people and saying, you're the reason, unless I'm talking about MAGA, right? I think in the Democrat Party, there needs to be the awareness that these are real serious issues that are going on within the fragments of the party, right? Whether they represent the independent, some people are independent, but there are issues within the Democrat Party that I believe need to be addressed, and they need to be made sure that they're not just kind of swept under the rug, and you just can't blame people and say, you're this and that. No, like I said, Tallarico, if he was wise, he would understand the energy is out there right now, whether he likes it or not. A lot of people feel like Jasmine Crockett was disenfranchised. Now, we can debate the facts about why that happened and why it may be true or not, but he better get on top of this. You know what I'm saying? Because if he doesn't, it's only going to leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. That's how I feel about it, right?
No, that would be true with any politician in that same exact position.
Yeah. If he bid off of this, he volunteered to put himself in this situation. Don't
No,
get
no,
in
no,
here
no, no,
now.
no, no. See, now I'm going to stop you right there. He
Tallarico
did
didn't.
not volunteer.
He
Tallarico
he
was
did. He
running this
ran for
race.
it.
Oh, no, 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 no. Tallarico was running this race before 6 months before Jasmine Crockett decided to get into the race.
Val. Let me stop and say what I need to say. No one told him to run to be a person in Congress. That's a personal decision everyone makes for themselves. Am I correct? Just like Donald Trump, just like Trump. No one told Trump to be the president. People volunteer to put themselves out there like this. And so what I'm trying to say is, if Tallarico wants to be successful in this role, then he's already done the work, like he said, to at least get to where he's at. And that's a personal decision he's made for himself, and he's been getting support on that front. So to me, what he needs to do, and again, I'm just Zeus on TikTok, right? But understanding the culture and understanding that I'm part of it, he really does need to understand, like, okay, the stakes are a lot higher. I want to see what you got in you now in order to make sure you address this issue that's out there right now, because to try to sweep it under the rug, it's not going to fly, and it's not going to sit well with a lot of people in the party. And I also know MAGA is going to be able to weaponize it.
Okay. The weaponization is, right now, we're truly weaponizing ourselves. MAGA is not having to do a thing. I want you all to think about that a minute. We are weaponizing. This conversation alone proves that. The comments down here prove that.
Well, me and you.
That's we are weaponizing ourselves. MAGA hasn't had to lift a finger.
Well, Val, here's the beautiful thing, right? I enjoy these discussions. It's just so happy we're having it on TikTok. But make no mistake, I've always maintained a high level. I respect where you're coming from, right? But I do think we're at a point now where being transparent about these issues is very important. All right. And the question is this is, to me, I've always said this: feedback is a gift if you treat it that way. So I'm taking what you're saying, and I hope you're at least listening to me pushing back in the way that I can.
I am.
And hoping that we can at least, even if they want to try to weaponize it, demonstrate like, hey, okay, we saw that there was something we had going on, and we took corrective action in order to address it. All right. That's all. Right. Because I get it. We can't go back and relitigate this stuff. It is what it is. But my hope is that what the devil meant for evil, God could turn it into good. And I'm a testament. You and I are living proof of that. There's been things, like I said, there's been things in our lives, possibly, you could probably speak on it, where you really wanted it to work out one way, but it didn't work out that way. And actually, the way it worked out was actually a good thing. So I try to be optimistic about it on that level, right? Because if I sink and go to that dark place, it's going to get nasty, brother. It's going to get nasty. So, but yeah, this was a good conversation. I didn't know we were going to end up having it, but it shows, you know what this shows, Val? It shows that even as Democrats, we can see things from a different perspective and still work things out.
Right, as long as we can have real discussions that are based on facts.
Yeah.
That's a lot of what I'm seeing here. A lot of the things that keep coming up are absolute misinformation, provable misinformation.
Yeah.
And that might be being put forth by MAGA. That might be the kind of stuff that's being put forth by MAGA, right?
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? But we've got to be, you know what I'm saying? We have got to stop this infighting over this race. It's over.
Yeah. There you go. W, Val. See, Val? Thank you. I appreciate you. And we could probably have a separate show together, and not just you and me, but we should do this. Let's get it out there in the open and show that the Democrats aren't as weak as MAGA thinks. Because unlike, what I appreciate about this conversation would never happen within MAGA. They're going to do exactly what Daddy says do.
No, they're not going to question their candidates at all.
Yeah.
They don't care. Well, obviously.
Yeah, there you go. Well, listen, brother, I'm well past my time slot, but
all right, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, W's in the chat for Val. Came out of retirement and gave us, an interesting insight. And yeah, the main thing is look into this stuff for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Don't believe what either of us are saying, right? You're free to go and do whatever you want to do, all right? But you know where we stand. And that's very important. All right. Moving it along. I know that was hey, some of these conversations get very, very serious. Kabira, I thought I saw you. Did you want to say something, Kabira? Where'd you go, Kabira? I thought you wanted to come up here and put some words of wisdom on top of what we've been talking about, because you always have an interesting perspective, ladies and gentlemen. And W to all of you in the chat. We're all right in our own way. Good morning, Kabira.
Good morning, Zeus. I just wanted to say I agree with Val. You know, as Obama said, Democrats, we're a circular firing squad. We shoot our own self in the foot. Now, like I told you about a week ago, that I thought Jasmine would lose to Tallarico.
You thought or knew?
And my thinking was further ahead because Tallarico has a better chance of beating Paxton
or Corin.
And that other fella, that other Republican.
Corin. Yeah.
Whereas,
well, why do you think that, though, Kabira? Why do you think that? Though? Why do you think that?
Because of the racism in Texas. Let's just keep it real. Okay? So now, they're not going to have that black woman. If she did win the primary, she wouldn't have won the general, but he stands a better chance. Now, for you people that are shooting each other in the foot in the chat, if you don't live in Texas, like I don't live in Texas, I have no skin in the game. But if you live in Texas, regardless, like Val says, we see what we have sitting up in 1600, Pennsylvania. We know what we got sitting up there. This guy is so crooked, he even got the voter rolls for Arizona. You know, it's bad enough he got them for Georgia. Now he's got the voter rolls for Arizona. So you know what he's up to.
We sure do.
So, you know, it really needs to go away.
Yeah.
You know, if we want to get, as I say, more than likely we'll take the Congress, the lower chamber.
Yeah.
Okay. It is the upper chamber we need to get.
Yeah.
If we can get the upper chamber, and if we can get 2 or 3 Republicans, we had in the upper chamber, we have a good chance of impeaching that whole administration.
Thank you.
And Trump as well.
And thank you, Kabira.
You know, don't do to Tallarico, as he said, to what they did to Kamala Harris. Now all the Arabs and Muslims that live in Michigan, they're crying the blues about Palestine, but they went and voted for Jill Stein, right? Or they sat at home. Now Gaza is gone to smithereens. So, you know, and I don't buy that BS on the lesser of two evils. That's hogwash.
You don't. Wow.
Tallarico is the man. You people that live in Texas, regardless, like he said, don't make it about a color thing. And as bad as it is, I don't want anybody to say, oh, she's an Aunt Jemima. No, I'm just keeping it real. Living on this earth as long as I've lived on it, I know human nature, right?
Yeah.
And Texas is not ready. It's hard enough to try to have a Democrat for governor in Texas, right?
Yeah.
The last one was, I forget her name, Richardson, back in the 80s.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about here?
It's always going to be racism. It's always going to be racism. Racism has been a part of this country ever since the Declaration of Independence. It was something George Washington was even discussing. So I wish it wasn't, but it is. You know what I mean, Kabira? But thank you.
Yeah. You know, even with so because some of the black folk here in the chat, I was reading some of the comments. I said, you know what? This is ridiculous. Unless you want, because trust you me, as sure as my skin is black, let's put it like this. I don't have to do anything but stay black and die. Those are 2 things that's going to happen. I'm sorry, unalive. Those are the 2 things that are going to happen to me.
Yeah, wow.
As sure as my skin is black, Trump will try to get a 3rd term. And for you people that are in the chat, coming up with whatever kind of excuse you have, if you live in Texas, get off the excuse and vote blue no matter who. Let's get that son of a gun out of the White House.
I know. We got a lot of tough pills to swallow this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Kabira. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, listen, y'all relax. Come on now. Come on now. Let's not start dividing ourselves. These are just adult conversations on TikTok, all right? And no love is lost, okay? You know, sometimes you gotta spar. You gotta spar with the people you are in, you know, with. So let's not get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen, and lose sight of the mission. But I'm learning too. I am learning too. And so what we're gonna do is I got room for a few more minutes, and we're gonna try to get folks in here and out of here. Dane, what did you want to say? You've been begging to get back up here.
I just want to say, Zeus, I've been in a lot of your shows, a lot of entertaining shows. That was the most authentic, amazing cinema I probably saw in here ever. That was great. I love how you guys talk about racism every day. But this particular case, Jasmine Crockett, she says they made her. She claims they made her skin darker. You're blaming Texas.
Yeah.
It wasn't Texas, bro. It was Latinos. If you look at the data, Latinos pushed her over the top. Young Latinos, to be exact, pushed her over the top. White liberals voted for her at about a 48 to 50% clip. All black people voted for her. About 80 to 90% black people in Texas voted for her. It was the Latino vote that pushed her over the top. But that's not why I came up.
Yeah, because we got to. What did you want to say? Because I'm on a time crunch, but I'm trying to get to.
It's just amazing how they pick and choose. And so, is racism only okay when it's from MAGA? Because this is coming from Jasmine's mouth. Jasmine says this was racist. So you're going to ignore her?
No.
Like, when is racism okay, Zeus?
Never. Never. I just
She
gave you the answer.
She said they made her skin darker.
Yeah. I've seen that out here in Oakland when they were mayor races. They've done that. That's a tactic people do in politics. Politics is a dirty game. All right. I mean, the thing is, she's going to say what she's got to say. He's going to do what he's got to do in order to win. That's how this works. So, and there might be truth in what they're saying, but what is your issue? I guess I'm a little concerned because one thing I do know is neither of those candidates are actively running around here doing what Donald Trump is doing when it comes to, you know, actually harming people. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. So it's night and day.
So that was a great pivot to the TDS.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I'm not going to be up here saying, you know, racism is okay. I understand racism is in both parties right now, but I'll take my chances confronting it. I'll take my chances in terms of trying to get it straightened out on the Democrat side, because what I won't do is be voting alongside the Triple K like you. All right, brother? Now, Big Zeus is going to move it along, all right? Did you?
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. Thank you. No problem. Oh, there you go. And he came up here respectfully and humbly, and I straightened him out, ladies and gentlemen, all right? I'm just trying to hear as many voices and opinions as I can before I get up out of here, all right, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, my gosh, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my God, I got to check in with my good friend from Shay. Shay's from Texas, so I know she's from Texas, and she doesn't mind. Shay, what do you got?
Hey, real quick. Yeah, I mean, you know, Val's right, Jim is right. We've all said the same what we need to say. Kabira nailed it on the head. This is just the reality we live in, okay? And we all hate it, right? And we fight against it every day. We went through this with Kamala Harris. We went through this, even though Hillary Clinton is a white woman, we went through the fact that it's a woman.
Yeah.
So this is our reality, and I hate it, and we all hate it. But this is the decision that we have to do in order to turn Texas blue in the Senate thing, right? Val is right. He knows very much about the politics in Texas. He's very educated. He's involved heavily on the ground in Texas. He knew in Tarrant County, that's where he lived when it turned blue. So we have a real chance here. And I want, I couldn't.
Go for it.
Listen, we had two great freaking choices. I was going to vote no matter who, and I love both of them, and I think they're great. And I think that when we look at who he's going to run against, whether it's Cornyn or Paxton, I hope it's Paxton, right? No, it's not about shut up and take it, guys. Come on, when are you going to understand that it's so important not making it about race and gender, and because this person didn't get in, we've got to fight against fascism. We've got to get control of the Senate.
Yeah.
Do you understand what's going on in this country?
Yeah, well,
that's more important. And I pray to God she will run again against Ted Cruz, and we'll get her in.
Yeah.
This is what
I get
we're
it. I
dealing
get
with.
it. I get it, Shay. Like I said, I know.
It's hard. I get it.
That's what. That's why I said this is a tough. This is a tough pill for a lot of us to swallow, and that's where we're at. No, we don't want to. I would never tell anybody to just sit down and take it. No, I'm not ever going to say that. But like I said, I would just hope.
Saying that, guys.
I would hope though that Tallarico, being that he's in the position he's in, and I said it to Val, like, yeah, I get Val's coming from it at just a level of pure numbers, but I hope that he understands this energy is out there and does something to at least address it. Otherwise, I am very concerned that it could actually get out of control because, even with Kamala Harris, we saw people sitting out. Looking in hindsight, maybe Biden and them should have did something, I guess, to stop that. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, I'm on TikTok all day, and I'm not from Texas. But Shay, thank you.
Yeah.
And everybody's not going to be happy. I get it. That's how politics works. Not everyone's
I've
going
never
to be
been on a MAGA panel. Back in the day, I used to debate you fools.
Who?
But I don't sit on MAGA Dame's in here. I've seen Shay on MAGA. Stop, Dame. Everybody knows who the hell I am in this thing. You need to cut your bullshit out. Period.
Y'all getting out of hand this morning. All right, thank you.
No, don't even.
Hey, listen, we're all family and we fight.
I would have loved Jasmine Crockett. I think she's a phenomenal person. It's a shame she didn't get the seat. But because she didn't, we've got to back up Tallarico because it's more important that we get a Democrat in the Senate and we start changing this up. We've got to stop this stupid crap that's going on in the Trump administration. Period. End of story. That's what I wanted to say. I love you guys.
All right.
And, that's all good. Thank you.
Right.
Bye,
there you go.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. No problem. Thank you for coming up here and giving us the insight and perspective you have. Again, ladies and gentlemen, listen. It's hard to say who's the right person and who's not. All right, you watch the game get played, and the winners come out the winners, the losers end up being the losers, and that's just how it goes. I mean, and then next thing you know, somebody gets 83 points out of nowhere. You just can't predict this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. You really can't. Dr. Keisha, they said I need to bring you up. How can we help you? Good morning.
Good morning. Today is 6 years since the WHO declared the pandemic.
Yeah,
6 years since WHO declared the pandemic, and cases are rising.
Yeah.
Cases are rising, and one thing that the WHO mentioned is that we're going to see people disproportionately affected by this pandemic and others. By the way, there was another serious case of bird flu just yesterday morning in the United States in Louisiana. And what happens in these cases, and why I'm bringing it back to it, because disproportionately, not people of color, I'm going to say Black people because we're in America and I live in Texas. I've been living here for 15 years and my vote and my voice matters too, is that we are disproportionately affected by cancer. We're disproportionately affected by maternal health. When we go in to get seen by a doctor, it's not believed. And we need representation. So what has happened even in medicine and what's happening in politics is we have to, at some point, be the ally, be the co-conspirator, and push up people that look like me so that they can get a fair chance, right?
Yeah.
Because there's implicit bias. And I want to say this because the one thing that bothers me by this is first of all, not listening to people. And I had to learn this during the pandemic when we wanted to tell people to get immunized and they wanted to share their stories, especially as Black people dealing with doctors. And you cannot dismiss the Black women in the chat at all and dismiss their pain, because I am 100% 10 toes down with that. In addition, as somebody who's a triple board certified doctor, I look at my white counterparts and see how easier it was for them to climb that ladder, and we cannot ignore that. So the comment made by an ally, by a friend, I'm sorry, Val, but I'm going to call it out, was a problematic. Not all race is about race is wrong. Because implicitly, we have to admit that when it gets down to the ballot, people are going to vote with what they see relates to them. And it's not a Black woman like Jasmine Crockett. And the reason why her voice, and Jim, you know this, the reason why your voice had to get strong, as you said, people wouldn't listen to you. And so imagine as a Black woman who had to keep fighting as an attorney with all of her credentials, her voice had to get stronger to be heard. But that then counted against her when it came time for people to elect. Black women are about 7% of the US population. We are 14 to 15% of the population, yes, in general, but yet we only represent 10% of those in Congress, and Black women even less. Even less. 57 Black women have ever been elected
Y'all
in
show
US.
Dr. Keisha some love up here. Come on, she's putting it out there. She normally doesn't talk
Black
like
women
this.
have had some of the highest voter turnout rates. Black women, yes, we are part of the 92%, but yet we don't represent it. So sometimes we do need to get to the ballot, but at the same time, those of you guys in power, and this is a story my friend shares with me, is that she was on the committee when they were trying to elect people to become doctors, right, at the hospital. And they said, we're not going to choose her because she's Black. And she had to speak up and say, that's wrong. She knew what they were doing. She's like, I have been in these committees where the vote comes down to whether it's about race, and it is about race. In the boardroom, it's about race. Behind closed doors, it's about race. When you go to the ballot room, it is about race. So we're not going to forget that. And you're not going to forget those that are dealing with pain right now. They deserve it. Yes, I'm voting blue, but that doesn't mean that James Collins, yes, he was born a Collins, is going to get my money or dollars. That means the Black women that we're still going to remember to lift up, or we're not going to forget about that, are going to get my dollars and coins. So it is about race. And if you erase that, you're erasing me.
All right. So that's Dr. Keisha Davis. Thank you. All right. Well, listen. Thank you for keeping it short and sweet. I got to give, ladies and gentlemen, let's show Dr. Keisha some love because she did something. I appreciate it. Wow. Only on this show where you get all of this and more. All right, Doc, I got to move it on.
All right, take care. Don't forget, 6 years since the pandemic, and they are literally erasing the progress that we made. They are erasing the progress we made. Take care.
All righty then. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Keisha Davis. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am well past my time slot, but honestly, on top of just sending a bunch of Trump supporters straight to hell, I'm glad that we at least I got to, spar amongst my own mutuals in a way. And, we all didn't agree on everything, but I heard it, you heard it, and it is truly up to you to make the right call for yourself out there. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, on this show, I don't tell you what to do. I do. I do when I tell you to put the W for Zeus in the chat. Put the W's for Zeus in the chat because I'm the Rizzler. And I bring it in ways nobody else can bring it. I'm the strongest one on TikTok in a way. W. Hey, W. Kabira. I enjoyed Val's perspective, Jim's perspective, Kabira's perspective, Dr. Keisha's perspective, and all of your perspectives in the chat. And I do believe that we have enough time to figure out how to make this work so that we all do what it takes to save this country from the evil clutches of Donald J. Trump and his legion of MAGA demons. Yeah, thank you, Dame. I am the GOAT. W Art, thank you. And MAGA, please try to weaponize this against the Democrats, this whole Tallarico thing. Please, I dare you to, because what I'm going to do is make sure if I catch you out there talking about it, I'm going to be on you like white on rice. Don't you dare all of a sudden start trying to sound like you're DEI champions. When you look at what Pete Hegg says, Whiskey Leaks has done to the DOJ. I mean, actually, Scam Blondie too. What they've done to the Department of Defense and the Department of the DOJ, Department of Justice. I don't even call it the Department of Justice. It's the Department of Injustice, right? Real injustice. You can't sit there and go, it's so amazing that these Trump supporters all of a sudden start trying to act like they care about race and racial matters. No, you don't. You're the worst of the worst. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and warm up the Lake of Fire one last time. And this is for all of the Zeus haters out there. All right? Don't try it. Never, ever try to ride Zeus's wave. You'll end up crashing and burning. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these demons straight to hell. Department of Jokes. Hey. All right.
Silence. MAGA
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to get up out of here. Take care. Stay safe. Have a great rest of your morning. We are out of here. Wow. Yeah. What about Biden? Yeah. Wow, what a... Woo! Uncle Joe. Wasn't America a lot calmer when Joe Biden was in office? W. Marissa.
Millions crossing, drugs pouring. Where we begin? What about Biden? Gas prices sky, inflation wild.
Lemonade.
Can't feed your
W. Cindy.
What about Biden? Afghanistan mess left them behind.
13 soldiers gone.
Joe acting blind.
What about him?
What about Biden?
W. Zeno.
Yeah. What about Biden?
Even with all this chaos Biden had, this song has a way to make you feel calm, right?
Up in the White House, call him Sleepy Joe, cognitive decline. Everybody knows stumbling words, can't finish a sentence. Puppet on strings, who pulling the leverage. On his laptop, bullets and bills. Trying to cash flow, million concealed. Family getting pain, influence pedal while we out here struggling, pockets unsettled. Weaponized OJ, FBI raids. Mar-a-Lago stove, 100 gets praised. January 6th, locking up brands. But Joe specified docs in his garage, man. Keystone cancel, energy weak. Depending on foes, gas $4 a week. Crime in the cities, soft on the streets.
Must be the piano Pete Hegseth bought, right? It sounds really good, doesn't it? What about Biden? That Pete Hegseth piano in the background. W heaven. Gas prices. Wow. Economy dying. Can't feed your child. You that piano though?
13 soldiers gone. Joe acting
blind. Go ahead. You hear him?
Yeah. What about
right, Ange? Right, Zena? Right, Heaven? Ask yourself this question right here. What about him, W Heaven? You caught it right there? W Angel. Hey, what about him? Got us out of that pandemic. It's a sad song. All right, ladies and gentlemen, see you all tomorrow. Same Zeus time, same Zeus channel. What a show!